and welcome. I have exchanged or traded Steven for some charming and handsome gentlemen. I have Ridge here and Garrett from Rising Empire Studios, the creators of the Alpha Class TCG. And I'm very excited to have them here for multiple reasons. First one is that you guys made an announcement this week talking about going fully indie. And there's an industry discussion chat in our Discord that just went ballistic in response to this. So I had the opportunity yesterday to sit down with both of you for two different podcasts, and one of them was focused on this thing. So we have a lot more coming in terms of that topic and why it happened and whatnot. But for those who weren't able to keep up with the industry discussion in the Discord or haven't had a chance to read the announcement, I'd be curious to hear from you guys. Quick summary on what that article is and what it means to be going fully indie for Rising Empire.
Yeah, so obviously we're really excited to make that announcement. It sounded like people were excited to read it. There was a lot of chatter. It was hard to keep up even just for us looking at it. But basically just that we are moving to a fully indie studio. We're just owning the word indie and really trying to solve the problems and the things that we were experiencing as a studio as well as our stores, and just how they experience the game, how they get the game, how they're supported, and all those things. That really encompasses this new program through something we call the champion stores, so just really onboarding, supporting stores at a really high level, and helping them solve the problems to do the things they want to do, and it's just better for everybody. Big win-win for us.
Crazy. Okay, so you're going to be serving stores directly. You have a champion store program. If there's any stores out there that are curious about it, you have this on your website now. Can you give me, I know we talked yesterday a lot on the podcast about this, but can you give me like one example of a problem you were experiencing as an indie card game publisher and how that was kind of connected to the stores and the players and like what that was? Like what's one just like top level?
Just one.
So there were many. Yeah. But yeah, just like an example of why, I mean, this is a big shift, right?
Oh yeah.
The way it is done is you make a card game, you go to distribution, you go to retail, and you do this whole thing. You guys have been doing this for a couple of years now. 5 sets are out, along with some other products. And so the move to serve stores directly, we've seen this from other publishers. We've seen this tried before. And there's clearly something misaligned here. But I would just be curious, I think in the Discord, there was a lot of theoretical discussion about it. Also, if you have any questions on this, we're going to be engaging with chat in a second. But you have on the ground personal, professional experience.
We've lived it. Yeah, we've been living it.
And it's easy to just think this is how it works. Yeah. And then you get into it, and it's not exactly how it works, or it's not working that way for you. So, anyways, do you have any particular examples that are just?
Yeah, the whole model, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think is designed for people like us. It's kind of a square peg in a round hole kind of thing.
When you say people like us, what does that mean?
As an indie studio, we are indie. We're a small team of passionate people who built a game that we want people to enjoy and love and try to get it out there. And you try to check those boxes of this is what you're supposed to do. You go to distribution, you do this, you do that, and you try to do the things that you're told you're supposed to do. It's not really built for supporting us. And so a great example would be this. I told the story yesterday, but it's specifically a little teaser. This is just part of the grand scheme of it. But a great example is to support the stores. They want to know that their investment was well spent. The product's going to be well supported. People are going to want it. It's going to hold its value. People aren't going to undercut them. Those sorts of things. Well, specifically, we had on our last set release, we saw somebody, it's been shared with us, they were selling boxes a week before the release date at half price.
And online.
Online. Which that's not good for anybody, right? That's not good for us. That's not good for the stores.
Breaking map policies.
Yeah, breaking pretty much everything. And I actually just reached out to the guy and it's just, hey, just want to check in. You support our product, you carry it, nice to meet you. What's going on? And I was fortunate that he responded and just said, actually, I don't care about your game. I don't support it. I don't have anyone in my store that plays it. But my distributor says I have to carry your game and these other games in a bundle if I want these other things that I want.
So if I don't want to get allocated, I don't know if this is the real thing, but if I want to get all the Magic boxes I want, I've also got to buy
these other few games that they carry.
Game 2 boxes, etc.
Right. And so I appreciate the honesty, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
as
he's
a
got nothing
studio,
on it.
it's like, hey, we made a sale to this store. We have this store in this area that carries the product.
And
Well,
you're small enough that every store selling your game is like
it's a
significant.
thing, yeah. Like we care about every store that's selling it. So it's like, hey, that's great, nice to meet you. I'd love to hear your story. And what happens with that is now everybody who is invested in the game as a store, as a player, when you see a box listed at half price before release date,
like they've already bought the box.
They've already
They're
bought
gonna be
it.
selling it full price in a week.
They're planning on selling it in a
yet.
week. And not only can they not sell it yet because they're following you know what they're supposed to do, but now it's inherently devalued everything that they have and the excitement that they have, and just it becomes a race to the bottom when you bring in those deep discount online people, you know. And I can't blame the store. He picked it up. He's dumping it, trying to get his money back. But those are the kinds of things you deal with that's not the expectation when you get into something like that.
Yeah, and even something you kind of indirectly mentioned was you going through distribution essentially have no idea who's buying your game.
Blind.
So stores could be the hub of sales for Alpha Clash, and you would have no idea because they're just there's a wall in between you and them.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy.
There's no way to communicate. You're total blind.
Yeah, well, definitely check out their announcement. Can we share a link in the chat if you don't already have it? Just One Pack, hey, good to see you. Saying really curious about how the push new stores will work. How do you see stores getting to know about the game?
Yeah, hopefully in a lot of different ways. We have a pretty active convention schedule this year, which every convention we've gone to, we've picked up several new stores as of late. We're also heavily on the calls and the emails right now and really just talking to people. That's the most important thing, is being active and getting out there talking to people, having people who like the game that go talk to a store. Hey, like, look at this store program of this game that I love. Let's build a community and things like this, like getting out there and just talking to people. Like the more people hear about it and know about it, the better, because we think they're gonna think it's cool. Yeah.
Well, for anyone that is unfamiliar with Rising Empire and Alpha Clash, can you give me the TLDR on? So I said there's two primary reasons I'm excited to have them here today. One is because I want to talk about this and answer some questions and stuff. Two is because they have brought with them this, which is an early copy of Siege of the Forgotten, which is a PvE, so player versus experience, cooperative. It's solo, cooperative up to 5 players, including the fact that you can actually play as the deck that the players are playing against. Like you can be the boss. The big bad. I was gonna say bad guy, but I don't know. I think Krung gets a bad name. So, anyways, we're gonna be playing this for the first time on stream. So I have almost I know we're fighting against the big bad boss Krung, which we're just gonna be playing. So we're gonna be checking this out. But for anyone that is unfamiliar with you and your game, can you just give me very top level, what is Alpha Clash and why should someone watching this be interested at all?
It's the indie comic book trading card game, and our lore is deeply tied to the gameplay, and the gameplay is tied to the lore. And we're just creating some awesome, cool games that we just want to get in front of people, have them enjoy it, play it around the world, and do it in a cool comic book kind of shared story style.
Yeah. So indie comic book trading card game.
Yep.
So I love it because it is insane to be an indie comic book or indie TCG company, and you were like, why not both?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's just do both in here. Absolutely fascinating. So we're going to be playing today. Garrett and I are going to be on the same team playing decks, and I presume this is loosely using the same rules as the head-to-head version of the game. Loosely.
Yep.
With some special stuff. So we'll be diving into that in a second. Corlash is excited with lots of fire emojis. A man after my own heart.
Find something for you here.
Yeah, I was going to say, any questions before we dive in? And we're happy to field the questions as we go as well. Gravecrawler saying, I'm curious to learn how this works if you don't have a local store.
Well, we will still be able to get it through certain people, either local game stores that do have it, or somebody such as
your friendly neighborhood covenant.
Yeah, friendly neighborhood covenant, or we're still working through that. And I believe you're actually in the UK, if I remember right, which we're working actively to onboard some new stores there right now.
Yep.
And this distribution internationally is very challenging.
It's
it's challenging.
It's hard if you've never done it or firsthand seen someone doing it. Like we've been working with indie studios for a long time. And that is a very common friction point where it's like, I'm in this country, how do I get it? It's very hard.
Yeah.
So you have to be at a pretty big scale before that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
And even then, like the audiences in not the major couple of TCG markets, which in your case is America and the Philippines, which is just an
Southeast
amazing,
Asia, Philippines.
representing.
Yeah.
I think the other piece is, seeing all the industry discussion in the Discord. The reality is, it seems like coming into this, and you guys correct if I'm wrong, you had this idea for a way to serve stores directly, which lets you do all kinds of things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. But before you even announced this, you had a lot of your key stores and communities on board. So it's not like they're getting cut off or anything. Like there's a soft landing, as it were. But then realistically, it's a very small game, very focused number of stores that are actually doing anything with this. So my assumption is that with this move, there's not going to be players that suddenly don't have access, even locally, to Alpha Clash. I'd be surprised if it happens.
Yeah,
Is that your expectation?
it would generally. I assume that situation would be somebody whose store only picked up a box or two for somebody who they don't have a community, but that person wants the product. And so the hope would either be we get that store interested, or that they or pick it up from you or buy it online. I mean, they would still have access to it.
That would be the ideal pathway. I like that pathway.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense to me.
This stream brought to you by that pathway. And if you are a subscriber to Alpha Clash or anything, huge shout out to you. I joke about it, but it's also true. That's how we are here getting to do this. Ryan Roberson, I get my boxes from TC for the promos, boxes from my LGS to support them, and then a few online to shore up my sets. So
can't beat that.
Yeah.
Doing it all.
Sounds awesome.
from like a marketing research perspective, if there's a persona of person that you want playing your game, I think it's Ryan Roper.
Oh man, absolutely.
Just an
He's been
absolute
great for the game.
gem of a person. Yeah.
He knows the rule book better than I do. Guys.
So also another piece of context that I think is really relevant is a few months ago you made another big announcement, which was you were fundamentally changing your tournaments. And as an indie card game, you guys host seemingly about 4 of these sort of tentpole events a year, which is a cool way for people to engage. If they don't have a local community yet, they can at least make it out to some of these bigger things. But specifically, that was about injecting or prioritizing fun over competitiveness at your events, maintaining a certain level of competitiveness, but making sure that it's not outshining the fun. Can you tell me about some of the ways you're doing that at your big events? Like we have a big event coming up in Des Moines next month. So it's different. These tournaments are different than any tournaments I've ever played in. So can you give me some context on why that is?
Yeah, we're definitely decided. We really just wanted to lean into what we are and what we wanted to be, and we've been having this discussion for a long time about the competitive scene, and I think this relates to the whole story of going indie and really just owning it and not having to try to fit the mold of what everybody else is doing in the industry of you have to do this thing in a tournament, and really just leaning into what we want to be and who we really are and the people we're really trying to serve. And so for us, that's being fun forward with a competitive experience. And so with that would be things like bounty. So introducing a bounty where we pick out a certain amount of contenders. Hey, at this event, if you show up, that may or may not be a winnable, meta viable deck. It might be, it might not be. But if you take on that challenge, hey, you win this special prize, whatever that thing is, plus the extra cash prize, get to claim, hey, you're the best player of this card at this event.
So like if you showed up with Kaling, which is the character you have here, to a tournament, and you were the top performing Kaling player, there's some money on the line, but there's also those super sweet full art.
Yeah,
cards.
full art prized card, those kind of things. Only one exists. It's for you. That's your prize. That's your trophy for doing the thing plus the extra prize. And then we also put in event cards, which if you want to talk more about event cards and how you see the
events are just a really interactive way that we can tie in the story. So if you don't know anything about Alpha Clash, there are beings called the progenitors, and they create what's called the awakenings, and they create these alphas and basically all this controversy. Well, they also like to meddle in the affairs, and so we like to act as the progenitors and kind of create new puzzles, new scenarios for the players to experience. And so each event has a new event card that will basically change the way people will deck build and think on that. And so the meta will be kind of just shifting with each of those as well.
Yeah.
That's been the experience so far.
Yeah.
With the event cards.
As someone preparing for the Des Moines event myself, oh no, I have a mic on my chest. I just like smacked. Sorry for your ears. As someone preparing for Des Moines, I will say it is outrageous how much one card changes the game. Just like very fundamental, which is cool. It means that no matter if there's releases or not, or what the balance of the game is like, you can come in, you can, like you said, you can pull the strings and change the game.
Yeah.
In like a pretty profound way. And you guys hosted your first batch of events under this new thing in March in Vegas. How do you feel like the goal was achieved? Like, was more fun had by the people
it
showing
was.
up to this event?
I felt it felt more fun. I think the bounties, like just even specifically talking to the people there that played the bounties, we're having so much fun just chasing those certain things, and it became less about the wins and losses, and it was more about, hey, I'm not trying to beat 40 people here, I'm trying to beat 2 people here, and I want to be the best at this thing.
It's like you go 2 and 4 and you feel like you won the tournament.
And you won it.
You were the top, death player.
That, it could be your experience, and there are people who walked in there not expecting to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So they were inherently already there, not for just the hyper competitive space, but for that fun space. And then that event card, what we saw, and we like it, but the meta was super diverse. The top 8 was super diverse. We saw contenders in the finals and win it that have never won, never gotten close to winning, ever. Yeah. And just hearing people play cards or talk about cards in the card pool that they're like, I've never used that in a deck before, ever. And like now it's viable.
Tier 1 now.
Now it changes just how people use the game.
Well, this is you see it on screen, it's somewhere in Las Vegas. And there's a lot of little nice touches too, right? So your setting is on Earth, or partially on Earth at least. So you can literally have these event cards for wherever it's going to be. And this is the promo that people get for coming to the event, which is like a nice keepsake. It's thematic, etc. It's also fun. We've been testing with the Des Moines card in play, right, for the past several weeks. And so I will always associate this card with this time in my life and this testing session, that meta that we had, and there's stories involved. But what's going on with this like bronze background? Like what's that about?
Yeah, so we kind of have a gold, silver, bronze mentality or style to the thing. So now the champion cards are textless gold versions of a card. The top 8 get these silver textless versions, and then the participants get the bronze event card.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have an award stand.
You get a bronze event card.
Yep.
For participating.
Yep.
And then
as you go up, you add to your pile.
I think that's really it's very fitting, but it's also, I don't know if it's the right word, but it's almost charming, because when I think of medals, I think about like Olympics, and it's competitive, but it's not. I think it's the kind of competitive you hope. Yeah. Like people want to do well, and there's a pride to it. And of course, in the Olympics, they're like experts at the craziest things, right? It's like, I didn't even know people did this, and you're like so specialized in it. But that's a cool way of signifying it, instead of just like, overly focused on like first place or like that kind of structure. So I think that's very nice. We got any questions coming through? I saw some. I just couldn't keep up with them. Spartan117, with the cancellation of draft box and clash kits, will TC have a subscription plan for the PvE, and will it come with an exclusive promo as well? No plans currently to have a subscription, but that makes me want to ask a question, and I don't fully know the answer, but we know Siege of the Forgotten's coming at some point soon. Is this something that you're planning on doing a lot more of? Are you waiting to see how the first one goes and is received, or what's the thinking with this?
I would say both of those things. I definitely want to continue to create them, because one, it's really fun just to be on the development side, but two, I have a lot of fun playing it. And I'm, hopeful that everyone else has a lot of fun playing it too. Yeah. And so as that catches on, we can create really cool scenarios and experiences that people get to do that are just not competitive.
And we have a couple other ones kind of in the works already that we would really like to get out there, like, if people enjoy it conceptually. So.
Yeah, so as far as the subscription question, it's kind of wait and see. If it becomes routine enough that a subscription makes sense, definitely something we probably offer, but uncertain as of yet. Chronocore asking, any plans on creating narrative events out of your PvE experiences for players?
We've talked about it. Yeah, we've talked about it. Just the right setting, the right planning, the right experience that we want people to have. But with this new kind of thing and new system that we've built, I mean, the sky's the limit for that.
Yeah. Do you... you talk about being fully indie, right? Small team.
True.
How big is your to-do list and/or your idea list?
Infinite.
Yeah,
it doesn't... The limit does not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the limit does not exist.
I feel like it's so hard just to make a game, let alone recurring TCG sets. So the fact that PvE exists at all, and how are those kind of plans impacted by going fully indie, right? Because I guess if you wanted to do something, some sort of narrative event that people could participate in, is that possible in the former setting, or is this part of the move that you're making to be maybe a little more agile and you can do things like that?
I think it'd be harder, much harder to do in the former setting, and I think it would open up the ability to do it with our new approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly that there are no downsides. I wish there were no downsides to any decision, but like the amount of upsides and potential and new avenues and new lanes and just freedom to do different things is a lot.
To be indie and a little bit crazy.
We're the
Yeah.
Like I feel like the past few months it's just
I
been
take that as a
crazy.
compliment.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, like the event announcement with the event cards and the bronze, silver, gold, and the bounties and whatnot. It's like there's not a lot of companies with an OP event structure like you have that are willing to take those kind of moves.
Yeah.
And they're very different.
We could
very
be
unique.
risk take. We could be described as a risk taker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being indie helps that. Like it changes the dynamic and the timing of all that kind of stuff. So interesting. What else we got, Jonathan? Just one pack. What will it take for a store to become a champion store?
Just get us in touch, get us in contact,
Yeah.
and I might have even emailed with your store already before, but
Oh.
we, definitely just get us in touch with them. I mean, they right on the website, they can actually fill out a little questionnaire application. We get an email, we'll be back to them within a day, and really just have a conversation. Here's the expectations, here's the things we can offer, here's the very few things we ask in return, is like have the product, host things, try to grow a community, and like we'll give you all this stuff and support
Yeah.
you. And there's not a big ask from the stores other than they want to do it. They want
Actually
to be
be
in
a
it
store
and actually be a
having
store.
a space to host
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So if you could describe your, I wouldn't say ideal, but when you picture a champion store, what comes to mind? Like what are you actually hoping for in terms of the kind of people or the kind of engagement you get from the people that reach out and apply for this thing?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I could ask is like, they hear something like this, and the first thing they think is like, heck yeah, like I would be interested in that. I like an indie game. I like an indie comic book trading card game. I like somebody who wants to support the store and provide the materials and offer them exclusive pricing and an exchange program and these things. Like, if they hear the list of things and that like at all that's exciting,
Yeah.
well, that's our people,
That's
right?
it.
Because
Yeah.
those are the people. Because if it's, hey, I only do this, I only do these other things, and you don't fit that box, that's okay. Like there are a ton of stores, and we're looking for the champion store, the hub for a city, for a region, for a state, whatever that is, to kind of be that location for people.
This is the place for
This is the
Apple
place.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Do you feel like previously you were essentially trying to, you talk about they should respond to the things you're offering and wanting to do excitedly. Were you kind of, you mentioned distribution not really being a fit for what you're wanting to do. But I assume that carries down to retail. So do you feel like you were trying to be something for retail stores or even players that really didn't want what you wanted to make?
A little bit, and I think that we had things we wanted to give stores, and there were things stores wanted from us, and we couldn't get it to them. We couldn't communicate with them. We couldn't send it to them. We were trying to be this thing with somebody in the middle to try to get them all those things.
Being distribution.
Being distribution.
Yeah.
They wanted these things from us. We couldn't cross that.
They want to host pre-releases, and they want to have promos, and they want to have product in stock, and they want to
Right.
have marketing materials and play
Yeah.
mats and all this stuff. And then
Yep.
you have no idea who's buying
Right.
it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think inherently it's not that the stores wouldn't want what you're offering. It's that you have stuff you want to offer and you can't offer it to the stores.
Yeah. Cool. Makes sense. What else we got? Steven saying exchange program is massive. Yeah, we talked about that on the podcast. Give me the tea. What's it?
It's so cool. It's so cool.
What's the exchange program? Was that even listed on the announcement that you made?
It was just it was in there.
A bullet-
It was,
a
it was a
point
bullet.
that
It
was
was a
made?
bullet point in there that we just said we're going to talk about it. It's been the only way we've talked about it is to the few dozen stores that we've like previously talked to before making the announcement,
Yeah.
and then now going out. But Yeah, I mean, the exchange program essentially is, what was a store's choices with any game, not just our game, in the past? You buy product, you sell a certain amount of it, and then it's either I let it sit and I collect dust if I can't sell it all. I wait for the next set release. I try to find a new player. I build a community, which that would be great. And you find you find new people and all those things. That would be great. Or what happens so often is like, hey, I bought these 12 boxes. I have 3 left. I have 3 months until the next set. Well, I'm just going to post them online for what I paid for them, or sometimes less, or whatever that is. Just, hey, I got to clear it out. I need space. I need money. I need X, Y, Z. Well, that's not great for the player or the store or for us. It's like triple bad, So what we did is just how do we solve that?
For players, the one that makes the least intuitive sense to me is some players might get it cheaper, but you're rewarding people that wait to buy it, which is really not good for you as a publisher or for the store.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cyclical. And we've seen this in TCGs forever, which is like you print too much, people don't buy it, it gets discounted. And next time they buy even less because it was like, well, the store had it at half price 2 months from now, so I'll wait.
Yeah.
So they get to that moment and instead they...
Yeah. Well, I think in even prior to that, like going with the deep discount online retail, you put these two things together and somebody's already posting it for less because they did a week early and they didn't want it and it's half. Now I've got the thing, I'm trying to sell it. Maybe it's viewed as less. I can't get... Now, why shouldn't I do that thing, post it, ditch it? And so
even the players that would normally buy from you see it, they buy it online at half price.
Yeah, like I love my
and then
store.
They don't buy it at the store, and now it's sitting in the store.
Yeah, like I love the store, but $90 here and $60 here is $30. It's $30.
I tell that story all the time. I had a really, really good friend early on when we opened our store who was buying a couple $100 in X-Wing, and he was like, it's kind of crazy. If I bought these online, I could have them in 2 or 3 days, and I would save $80. But I want you guys to succeed, so I'm going to buy it here. But that's a huge amount of goodwill.
Yeah, and there's a limit to everybody's goodwill at some point.
I mean, he was a longtime friend, and he knew we were like fresh and like barely making it and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so carry on. Exchange program.
Yeah. So the exchange program, and I see that out there, Craig. Not good. Talk to your store. But so the exchange program has been huge. I feel like it's been like, hey, here's the things we're doing, and it's like, yeah, I like that. And then you hit them with the exchange program, it's like, all right, why wouldn't I do that? That
was like the yes moment.
That's the yes moment for a lot of the stores. And so what it is when a new set releases, store picks up, let's say a case is whatever, it may change. But currently case is 12 boxes.
A lot of sand shifting.
A lot of movement. But let's say a case is 12 boxes. They order 12, they sell 9 of those boxes going into the next release. Well, rather than them dumping those online, whatever that is, we'll actually let them send them back to us and we'll credit them towards the purchase of the next set. So we essentially, as risk averse as we can be with a store, to let them roll it forward into the next thing. Hopefully the hot new thing that the players want and people are waiting for, don't sit on it, don't undercut all the other stores, don't undercut the market, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Just roll it forward into something that you can actually turn into a profit. And in the end, that you might say, well, how's that good for us? Like you sell it, you take it back, you do those things. Well, as we're constantly onboarding new stores, people want some of the back product. It's a good way for us to have it. We take it to conventions where we meet a lot of new people that buy that product and want it. There's marketing, videos, influence, whatever that looks like. Yeah. That price support, there's ways that we can utilize that as essentially a sales or marketing thing, and it still advances the game without hurting anybody else.
Even just de-risking it for the store, and you're wanting to work with people that want to work with you,
right? And
support each other, right? And so this is your way of saying we're confident in our product, it's good, and if you over leverage and you buy too much, we'll take it back. One, to maintain that relationship. Two, we're talking about the long tail price of these products and whatnot, the value and how much stores get to charge and how much stores get to make, which is crazy how thin all this is for stores all the way up to the publisher level. And so being able to take that burden off is very significant.
Yeah. Yeah, it can help in a lot of ways. When you take out the middle person, even financially, the price point the stores can get it at, and all the things, they have a lot more room for everything.
More room to play.
Let's see, we got this. It's not a question, but just cool.
MTG Unpacked saying, checked with my LGS a while back and they didn't have access to the distributor. Hopefully this new initiative will change that. Yeah, it's another piece, right?
Yes, where a store would check, they go, oh, I don't the distributor either doesn't carry it or they're sold out. And the distributor, from past experiences, most of the time, they aren't restocking even if there's a request for new product.
Like stores will be asking for more product.
Yes.
Distribution says we're out. Even though if distribution said, hey, I want more product, you would happily sell them
exactly.
product.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with our new champion stores. It's like, hey, what do you need? And then we get it to them.
Yeah, even with just current champion stores that have already onboarded, they're picking up product from the last couple sets that we have stuff because they weren't able to get more of it from
we
distribution.
just never restocked.
They never restocked.
And it wasn't like, oh, that's theoretically happening. We would hear from stores like, yeah, I can't get it. And I can help. I can help with that.
Wait a
now
second.
that I know you carry the game, I can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, you carry the game, you host events,
Yeah.
you buy product from me.
Yes.
You have product to sell. Of
Yeah.
course, like who's winning by that not happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Is crazy, absolutely crazy. Grapecolor is the exchange program worldwide.
It's exclusively automatically an American thing, and then it's going to be regionally dependent on the distribution service because all of our international partners are still going through some sort of distributor for the most part.
Yeah.
It's a very poignant, specific example of why the Switch enables you to do things you couldn't otherwise do, or couldn't do as efficiently or easily or sustainably. And it's unfortunately in some countries in the world, because they are smaller, going to distribution, in a lot of other countries, distribution I think works better for your situation. But the downside of that, of course, is that you can't have necessarily all the same bells and whistles, because if you did even let this happen, it's like the cost of shipping
It would be
3 extra boxes from Denmark back here, and the VAT and all that stuff,
Yep.
VAT or
Yeah.
customs, depending on which direction you're going, and all that is not.
It's another layer.
reasonable
That
and
it
sustainable.
takes a piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are an indie studio, so you can't be a global logistical powerhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a trade-off. Taylor Burke, hi there. If I host events for games at my library, is that someone who could work with you as well, or does it have to be a store? I think ditching the middleman is a smart move.
I would say, is it a place that sells stuff or is it a place that hosts stuff? I mean, I think that would be kind of the biggest
I would say
thing
get
for
in
us.
touch and
Yeah,
we
put us
can-
in touch, and that's a conversation we can definitely have
Yeah.
once I have more context.
Yeah, well, and I would imagine, library might not qualify you for a champion store program, but presumably if a brewery or a pub or a coffee shop actually wanted to sell your product and host events, you'd be into it.
Without a doubt.
That's
And
the
then-
thing. Just because it's not a champion store per se doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's not some way we can support you.
Build a community. I mean, really, hey, let's get you demo decks. Let's get you the things you need to be successful. And
even in like a library, if it was a player-run initiative, you might be able to help them run events and do certain
Exactly.
things. It might, in that case, you would the goal of the whole system, right, is that for the actual purchase of the product, they would be going either to a champion store or buying ultimately online through us to get access to this thing, which is a direct pipeline to get to you guys, cutting out a middle person so that the margins are higher and better for you and the stores and the people actually supporting and growing the game. Yeah, cool. Logan, great questions from everyone out in chat. Loving this. Saying, how aggressive would we be with getting the game out there, given the Switch away from distribution?
man, we are aggressive this year. It is if we weren't aggressive in past standards, it's very aggressive this year. I mean, we have 10 conventions off the top of my head between now and the beginning of November.
Yeah.
Still, and we are actively going to be doing that, which is just a lot to do one convention, and so on average every other week, roughly.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So you're doing how many this year?
We're hitting the road.
for sure.
More
10
than a dozen, over the
there's-
course of the year.
Because it's like just off the top of my head, we go Des Moines Con while running Progenitors Gambit, 2 locations, Phoenix Fan Fusion, and then 2 weeks after that is Origins. Like just 3 right there in like end of May.
There's a little one in the middle, then we go to Gen Con, then we go to
Yeah, we'll be
Keep 'em-
traveling.
keep 'em rolling.
LA Comic
Yeah,
Con.
you're also
LA
hosting your
Comic-Con,
tentpole events and all
plus
that
our
kind of stuff.
Exactly,
events,
plus those.
Galaxy Con St.
So
Louis, Des
aggressive
Moines.
there, actively looking for every way to onboard champion stores. And honestly, the more people we share it with, the more it'll just continue to grow in that way.
Yeah, very cool.
I do want
Aggressive.
to say something about that from the podcast I thought was really good, which is that
Teaser.
Spoiler. Well, not really a teaser. It's like this. Oh, I see why. Sorry. Hold on, guys.
John Cam, everybody. Can they hear you?
They can hear me, just not well. I love the idea that you're going to conventions and meeting the stores face to face and moving that into an actual personal relationship. It's never just a blind mailer out. It's personal relationship, all the way down the road.
Yeah, conventions we got to get in front of people. Like
Yes.
we're probably about to tell some of the same stories, but like
Yep.
we were just at the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, which I would say is probably like 80% video game convention and maybe
Yes.
20% tabletop. Not what you might think is like that's the home run audience, but what we saw there was we just directly met 2 stores that were like, show it to me, I love it. Exchange program, Champion Store, I'm in, like onboarded fast. But then what was cool is like we probably got products into the hands of 100 people that live within a driving distance of Milwaukee throughout the course of the weekend. Well, what was cool is like you had a group of 6 guys walk up, they all played the game, they all left with product, and they said, hey, I'm going back to my store. We got on a call with that store the next day, onboarded that store as a Champion Store. That store said, put together a package for me and we'll get onboarded. And then they were onboarded. And it was like, you don't even necessarily have to meet the store, but if you meet a group of people or a person who is passionate, and at the same event, we literally had one guy walk up to us and say, okay, what is this? And we're like, hey, nice to meet you. And
this happened to me. So
Yeah.
we had like a promotional table in a separate hall, and ironically, I was across from his store, and we just hadn't communicated in this separate area. And he comes to me and he's like, okay, I just need to know what is going on with this game, because I had one of my customers come up to me and say, hey, you need to carry Alpha Clash. And he thought, oh, okay, all right, I'll check into it maybe. He said, after the 4th person told me, I had to come down and see it. And then I showed him the game. He's like, yep,
I'm in.
let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the moments you're looking for. That's why we go out there and do that stuff.
Well, and even you were talking to the store the next day that you didn't meet in person, but you are having a video call now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The other thing is, again, previously it would have been go talk to your store to convince them to convince distribution to hopefully get it, and then
they
it
have
just
it.
dies.
Yep.
Right. Whereas now next day they're talking to the people that make the product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you are the kind of store that wants to talk to the people that make the product and actually work with them directly,
Yep.
that is what a champion store is.
That's
right?
us. Our team is small enough
Yeah.
that it is us. It's us and 4 or 5
Yeah.
other people. That,
Like if a store reaches out on your forum today, like I know you had a forum on
Yeah.
that champion page.
there's 3 of us in that email, and you're looking at 2
But
of
like
them
they're probably going to be on a call with you guys in the next week.
within
Yes.
a week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that is the difference.
Yep.
If you're into that, this is for you.
Yep.
And if you're not, that's okay. There's plenty of games out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. All right, any other questions hanging? We got to get into this game at some point.
Well, dude, these aren't questions; it's just statements.
Statements. Ryan Roper, part of the growth is also the community. Once people engage with the community, it's almost a gimme. The community for the game is great. Yeah.
I appreciate
We have a
that.
great community.
What do you think of this?
Siege is Forgotten.
Siege is why.
No, the community's great because I don't know. We got great people. I hope that just it's the kind of game that attracts the kind of people
I think
that like that. Like if you like fun and competitive, you you like those things. You like indie, you like comics, you like super powered anything, and it's other people that are into the same stuff as you. I think those people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jive.
absolutely.
Even just the way the big events work, there's a very different vibe in that room compared to like a pro tour.
ClashCon
a lot
was
of
evident of
events.
that. Like
Yeah.
that was just a really fun time.
Yeah, that event struck me in a very, because there's a few comparables, but one is all the big 5 events I've gone to, and we'd also recently gone to like a 400 or 500 person sorcery event, and it made me realize that I like events that are smaller, and by smaller I mean like 100, 150 people. Like that is I think the sweet spot for me. But even just the vibe of the tournament itself was very unique, and that was before the bounties and before the event cards.
Yeah.
So you're naturally kind of just attracting that culture and those people.
Yeah.
We got any comments?
Yeah, just one more. All
right,
I
Logan.
don't know if you have an answer, but it's good.
Aggressive by attending more conventions is a great move. What about outside of conventions? How are you aggressively reaching more stores and players? What ways do you plan to expand the reach beyond?
I would say, how are we not doing it at this point right now? I mean, we have a time set aside every single day for phone calls, video calls, prospecting that we're like setting aside specifically for this. And we've brought on a couple other people that are out prospecting sales and prospecting stores for calls. So
And then we're doing things like this, getting it in front of people.
filming our own content, doing just
Yeah.
things that are
You guys have been
uncomfortable
doing the
and
new content.
We are going to stores
is-
within our reach,
Yeah.
walking in saying, hey, here's the deal.
I think one thing I really love about this approach, and it's logical, but it's unintuitive, which is I think a lot of times the assumption is that for something to catch on or be successful or grow, you need to cast like a really, really wide net. And you guys are actually taking the opposite approach right now, which is like really trying to hone in and find these are the stores that are actually going to work with us, that actually are going to be excited about the things we're excited about. Same with the players, where if you are uncomfortable with almost half the meta being bounty contenders that are not at all tier 1, and like that's going to be half your tournament that you're playing in, and that's not the tournament you're looking for, and the event cards and the way it's working, it's probably not the game for you, right? So,
and that's okay.
When you hone in, though, this funny thing tends to happen, though, because you go from trying to serve a bunch of different people in a bunch of different ways to being really, really good. Like, I'm just picturing if you showed up to our store a decade ago and you were saying these kind of things, we would have been over the moon. And then you would have been working with us and supercharging us to grow the game and the community in like a really profound, meaningful way. So,
well, I think that like just other things, like what about outside of the TCG? We're just trying to grow the IP and just people's, enjoyment of Alpha Clash. So that's where the comic books come in, and Mark Waid, and some other fun things. Like we are getting Alpha Clash in front of people, and I think if they start to enjoy it in other ways, it'll start to just grow naturally in those. But we're working on.
I got to be honest. There's a couple things that you said in our conversation yesterday, and that podcast won't be up for a few more weeks.
Secrets.
But it's a profound evolution that's going on in the Rising Empire Alpha Clash world. So I would just say stay tuned on that. You guys are putting in the hard yards and really putting a lot of work in now with the Champions Tour program. And again, you're a small team, so focus really matters. That's the thing you're really focused on right now. Seems like the vision is get stores on board that are really excited about this and want to help work with you to actually build communities. And then that seemingly has kind of a domino link. But that's the link in the chain right now that's in your scope, basically. Cool. All right. We'll keep taking questions, keep interacting, but we're going to get to the game. Oh, no, it's never going to end. Necromancer. I'm being sarcastic. We were talking about that at coffee time. It's like, be clear. I love that there's a lot of questions coming in. Necromancer saying, are there any plans to start a program like Magic Kids where you can donate unwanted cards to a program? I always thought a program for kids in mental hospitals would be really helpful.
I don't know that I don't know that is a plan.
Is that one of those like
a bad plan?
Sounds like a great idea. We'll put it on the list.
Yeah.
And then we have to still do these.
Very hard to
3
execute with
things.
the current team schedule, availability, hours, resources.
Maybe
everything's finite, but it could be.
If anyone out there is watching, knows of a program or runs a program and wants to reach out to these guys, and I'm sure you would be willing to do what you can in that kind of regard. And maybe, who knows what that ends up looking like, but taking the time to proactively build something, find people that can take advantage of it, make sure they're going to use it appropriately and do all this kind of stuff. But if you have anything like that on your mind, again, they're indie. You can reach them. Like when you contact them on their website,
pretty accessible.
It's them. It's not 4 layers of organization deep, right? Like that is the reality of this situation. It's the real people behind this. So, we good?
We're good.
All right.
Doing it.
They'll keep happening. Okay, so TLDR on Alpha Clash, we each have a contender. Before we even get into the PvE, my contender is Flare Nova Assailant, and I'm so excited. She's one of my favorite characters from the early art, and I have yet to play her in like a tournament. So they put this together for me to be able to play here. But you'll see on
You got the fancy art.
Yeah, they gave me some fancy stuff. Oh, you were trying to match it up. Yeah, it's the same card.
You just got the champion version.
This is monochrome stamp.
So you'll see on the top right, 30, that is my health, basically. So in a normal game, you're trying to get your opponent's health to 0. And the quickest way to just explain this, if you've ever played Magic the Gathering, it's a lot like Magic, except for everything has haste, which means the turn it comes into play, you can actually do something with it. There are a lot of other really key differences. But that's the TLDR one-sentence version of that. But you also have a main character, which represents you in the game. That's your health. On the bottom left, you'll see stats. The left stat is the attack. The right stat is technically the defense. I've always called it health, but it's the defense. That's really fun. I guess on the Clash cards, it's kind of both.
Yeah.
And you'll also notice little numbers there, 30 and 15, with a black background and kind of a goldish, bronzish circle. These are abilities you get when you're at that health total or less. So the one at 30, because I start at 30 and you can't go above your starting health, you just have from the start of the game. So mine is, I won't even read the second one yet. Whenever one or more Clash cards you don't control are defeated by non-Clash damage, deal 1 damage to target contender, then create a Nova Relic accessory token. So a few things there. Non-clash damage is just, clash cards are like units in the game, minions, etc. So when one of my clash cards goes away from basically not a fight with another unit or minion, I get to do 1 to someone, a contender being a different character, and then I get to create a Nova token, which literally is a blank token.
Yep, those ones are war. You got some Novas over there.
Oh,
you got 2. That deck can do 2 different
It's
things.
a token deck. There's. I love that you guys do this, but they have different art in various sets of the different tokens. So yes, yeah, John, you pulled the one that I pulled up. I appreciate your attention to detail there. This is literally just a blank token that's going to be on the board, and other cards will reference this. So you can destroy it to do X, or you can, if you have this many, you can do Y, that kind of thing. So that's my character. I have a deck that you guys have built. Can you tell me about your character, Garrett?
So I have Chow Ling. He's got a little brick of text here,
What's your
but
subtext?
Swift Warrior.
Okay.
So in this game, basically that first ability is not going to matter because Ridge, the boss, does not have an accessory zone. So that first ability doesn't do a thing.
His whole first ability is blank.
Just it's blank at this for this.
Cool
for this
choice,
game.
Garrett.
Yeah.
He's on my
I
team.
needed
Like, what
access
is
to some
this?
of the white cards. So his first ability is when you attach a weapon to a rogue clash card you control. You can engage this card if you do ready that clash card. So you could swing with a thing, attach a weapon, restand it, do a thing. And then at 15 health, this card gets trigger attack. This contender gets +0/+1 until end of turn, then draw a card. So little draw engine, little defense.
Card draw's pretty good.
Card
I
draw is
hear.
good in cards, I think.
So we're on a team. So Flair and you are
Yep, Chow Ling.
Chow Ling against Ridge. Ridge, tell me about your character and how this works.
Okay, in Siege of the Forgotten, you will be fighting 2 bosses. One, you're going to be fighting the portal, or the representation of what comes out of the portal.
Okay.
And that's going to be a horde
There should be a
of
card called the
minions.
Portal, right?
Yep.
I think we can show that.
And
That's it. And it's like giant. Can you?
yeah, it's
just
actually
for-
large. Here, I'll show Krung too. So like,
Just for put it up next to this card. This is a normal card.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking. A big bad.
and the final version will actually have like rounded corners. This is just a prototype version. But depending on how many players you have, you set those bosses' health totals based on that.
Got you.
Okay,
Is that what
so
these
scale.
numbers in the
Yep,
the
number
top
in the top left, just scale. So if you're playing by yourself, 1 player experience, Krung would have 30 health, where the portal would start with 15 health.
So I could potentially play this me versus the deck
yes.
solo.
Yep.
Okay.
And as
all
an
the way up
autopilot
to
version.
4 players versus a person playing the character.
Yeah, so that there's scalability and difficulty. So one is the autopilot version. If you want to play by yourself or even with 4 friends, you can just have fun with that experience. Or if you want to go into what we call a heroic mode, you add in a boss player. Typically, we want 3 to 4 players for this. Those people that get really good at it, they might be able to do it. And
We're
then
gonna have our
there
work
is-
cut out for us today.
Yeah, and then
We're good.
We're good.
We got
though.
this.
We'll be fine.
And then there's what we call a colossal encounter. And so there's actual red text on some cards that you ignore when you're on either the autopilot version or the heroic mode. In this one, in the colossal mode, you look at that red text. And that red text will scale the difficulty.
He laughs.
Yeah.
We don't need the red text today.
Yeah.
And so throughout this experience, the goal is to kill the bosses. There's no other win condition.
Okay.
You can't win by decking me out. You can't win by backpack counters of Haven. There's no other way. You have to take out these. Now, Krung actually can't be defeated unless the portal is defeated.
Okay, so the portal is your first character.
That's the first
or
boss.
the representation of the portal.
And what's important, there's different stipulations on here, but essentially what it lays out is at the start of my turn, I do certain things to kind of set up the turn. And at the start of each opponent's turn, I do a thing. And then at the start of my turn, when I'm doing these things, I'll be accumulating boss counters. Once there's 7 boss counters on this, Krung enters the field. Or if this is defeated before that happens. Okay?
And you can spoil me a little bit, but I assume if we defeat you before you get to 7, that's advantageous for us.
It is. Yes. Yep. It's going to be more advantageous.
You can't beat Krung until that's dead. So
Yeah, and Krung has perks
Based on the counter.
based on not only the counters, but if the portal's in play, he's even more challenging.
I see. So if you don't get rid of that before you get to 7.
It adds
gets
a layer.
really bad.
Yes, because once this flips over to the other side, you'll have the ability to close the portal. When the portal's closed, it's advantageous to you, but there's almost a tax to it. It's going to cost you resources to close the portal. But once Krung gets enough boss counters, he gets enraged. When he gets enraged, he gets angry. More things happen that you don't want to happen.
And as we're a very lore-driven, story-driven game, and if you know any portion of the story, this is on the nose for the minions and the horde coming out of the portal and Krung being the big
Directly
bad
from
and
the novel.
Basically, in the novel, you're in New York City. There's a bunch of characters that have been awakened. They have powers, right? And they're being drawn to each other to fight, and there can only be one.
Yep.
There's a big fight going on, but then all of a sudden, these discarded monster, alien, demon. It's really cool. I won't spoil it from the
pretty
novel,
much.
but
Yeah,
start
everything.
coming out of the ground.
Yep.
And it's this whole thing. So that's what this is set in.
Yep.
We're on potentially. I don't know. Are we in the belly of New York right now?
Yeah, you are in the subway tunnels.
We need to get the car horn sounds and in the background.
Yeah, you're in the abandoned subways. There's a portal that they're coming through.
This is the portal.
Yes, and you just happen to be the ones that you need to stop this from happening.
Okay. And so you have 15 health.
Yes.
You have 0
I have
counters?
I start with 0 counters.
Okay, so 15 health, 0 counters.
Yep.
We're trying to do 15 damage to you.
Yes, but I have 1 defense.
Every time you get punched, you take -1.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, you have to do more damage, right? You have to overcome that
you have
defense
to do
every
2
time.
damage to him to
All right.
get him
So
going.
what happens now?
Okay, so at the start of the game, in this version, I will be the one that goes first. I won't be able to attack you, though. Okay. Now, these 2 guardians of the portals that are out, they start the game on the field. They have text on them, and sometimes it's advantageous for some of my cards to come out or be defeated or things like that. So it's not just all mean boss stuff. There can be perks
Gotcha.
to defeating them at the right time.
So this says trigger defeat. A player of the opponent's choice draws a card. The active boss gets -1 defense until the start of the next turn.
Yes.
So if we defeat this, you get -1 defense, and one of us draws a card.
And then you guys,
Yeah.
for that whole kind of round, will
He's
be able
got
to
3 defense.
Yes.
That's important in this game. 2 is easier to overcome than 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And all the while, I have 3 zones. I have multiple zones, but the one here is going to be the minion zone. This is where I call them clash cards, but they're classified as minions.
Your clash cards come in.
We have something called the ambush zone right there, and this will begin to accumulate. If you've played Alpha Clash, you know that discarded cards like to use a keyword called ambush, and so I will be ambushing some of your attacks and accumulating a secret army. I can look at what they are. You guys will have no clue what's
So
over there.
just taking a peek real quick.
I might be able to see him.
These cards come from this,
So the Guardians of the Portal actually start outside.
so
this
they
deck.
don't count.
And these are dependent on how many players you have. So if you're playing one person, there's one of them. Up to 4 people, there's 4 of them.
This is happening because it was on your card. To
Yes.
say at the start of the game, do this.
Yeah, and that's also in the rule book. Basically, it'll say place the Guardians of the Portal into
Okay.
play for the number of players.
All right.
Okay. So at the start of my turn, I will be playing the top card of my deck into play.
Into this first zone.
Yep,
That'd be a
into
minion coming
the
out.
minion zone. Normally, I would draw 2 cards. I start with 5 cards in hand, and then I'll put a boss counter on. After I get past that, we will move the focus token because that will move at the start of
Focus
every
who
boss
he's gotta
turn.
attack.
Because minions can only attack the person with focus token, and I don't get to pick and choose like, oh, I'll attack this clash card and this clash card. Minions have to, and it says in the text, they have to attack the contender with the focus token, unless stated otherwise.
Yeah.
And so I'll be able to sequence my turns to, try to deal damage. But essentially, once we get past this kind of setup phase, then there will be an event card that will come into play. Some events are actually advantageous to you. Most of them aren't. Most of them are, advantageous for me.
Okay.
They have different effects. And then once I get past that, then I can go into normally my minion attack phase. And my primary phase kind of, it's just like the turn structure of Alpha Clash where I can play cards or attack. When you play autopiloted, it's automated where cards will attack from left to right. Where in this, I get to pick and choose how I
I was
want to
going to say,
sequence it.
what are your choices as the boss?
And I don't have to attack with minions if I don't want to.
Yeah, defense.
Yep. Okay. So essentially, I would start the game by drawing 5 cards.
Now, do we have a hand?
You also have hands. You each get to draw
draw
your 8
8.
cards.
Standard 8. Is there a mulligan rule?
No.
No.
So you just get your hand and
get
you
your
live
hand.
with it.
Yep.
There are
Okay.
some other perks. We do get to
Yeah, there's
draw
some
an
other good
attack on the
perks.
first turn.
All right, so once I draw
like
the
Dana White.
cards,
Can you also show the? Can you open that box on the top down because it's pretty great?
I don't know, can I?
yeah,
Sure.
of course.
And this is not final.
Not final,
But close.
Yeah, close. Yeah, so we did different printing setup
This
for.
this reminds me, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, and I'm only loosely familiar, but back in the day, WoW had a card game.
Yep.
And I remember a box kind of like this. It had plastic and stuff though. But anyways, it's a really nice box.
So good.
Has a nice little like pop-up feature. And so what
Yeah,
you
you
will
can
get
see.
in this box,
Like it holds itself up.
yeah, holds itself
Basically.
up. You would get 5 treasure packs. So this new cool reward system.
What's a treasure pack, Ridge?
Treasure pack.
Inquiring minds have to know.
Yes, treasure pack.
So there's going to be this expansion
I wish
booster.
people could see Jonathan's reaction. Yeah, he was just fist pumping.
There is going to be an expansion booster that releases alongside this with a limited card pool. Some really cool, just like treasures that you would get for defeating the raid and getting your loot.
So if you defeat the raid, you get to open a pack.
Yep.
And
And
if
so
you
there will
don't,
be
you just
5 per
sad.
box. So if you play with your friends or you played at
5 per
LGS,
PvE module.
yeah, you'll be able to do that. Now, all those cards that you get in there are constructed legal. So they're going to be good for constructed, and they're going to be good tools for your experience.
Particularly
Yes.
here.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How, if you had to guess on the base level version of this scenario, what is a win percentage you want players to have?
In a 1, 2, 3, 4 player experience, like what?
Does it?
It scales and
presumably
it
gets-
depends if the boss is playing. If
If you're,
somebody's playing the boss.
if you're at the base level, no one's playing the boss. Solo automated. It sounds like the win percentage is probably going to be different than even 4-player automated.
Yes.
And then it gets harder if there's an actual person playing the boss, and
Yeah.
then it gets harder if you scale up to
Correct.
the red text version.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you don't have the experience, that makes a difference. But 1 player, what's hard about that is the damage is always going at you. Where once you add teammates, yes, there's
divided.
It just starts to get divided more.
You have blockers at different
Yes.
places.
you can
Yep.
team up, you get more answers. There's,
Yeah, that's-
we can talk.
You guys
we
also
can play
share a
stuff.
clash zone, and you can play cards as if it were your phase. So you could clash buff for a card, or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, most PvE cooperative games I've played tend to get a little bit easier at scale for that reason. Like
Yep.
you kind of can always have someone with the answer.
Yeah.
Or an answer to a specific problem, whatever our problems would be.
Yep.
Real quick, I just have to ask, because you were talking about the story being so integral to the game. I love what the discarded are in this. Can you give context on what the discarded are?
Yeah.
And how they're kind of explained away in the
It's
IP?
kind of like anything that goes bump in the night. You know,
Okay.
trolls under bridges,
Bigfoot,
Yetis, Bigfoot,
demons,
yeah, all that kind of
spirits.
stuff that are kind of like unexplained or mysterious or
in like
whatever.
real life.
Different
In real
cultures
life.
explain them different ways. Those things all are actually.
Chupacabra, like that kind of stuff. They're actually discarded in our story. Well, the discarded are experimented beings, like beings that were being experimented by the progenitors that were just thrown away. Failed experiment.
Perhaps they were discarded.
Yeah, perhaps they were discarded. And so Lord Krung is that leader that's like,
Unites them.
yep, we won't be discarded.
Maybe I have a soft spot for Krung. I thought in my test net, I thought I hated him.
I've got. They may have the same answer.
Chronocore. Oh, I forgot to ask: Are there pre-made decks that come with the raid kit?
There aren't pre-made ones that come with this. However, the Clash kits are going to be good options. We're going to have some good availability.
And who knows? There might be somebody that sells them with Clash kits. Or
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
never know.
We don't. That
Yes.
could happen.
So you
Yep.
could buy a Clash kit in this and play. You could also,
Yep.
you teased in your article that there would be, because you're getting rid of Clash kits, you were doing a 2-player starter basically with every set. You teased that there was a better solution coming.
Yep.
So maybe you could also get that solution instead.
That'd be good.
Brave Squid, as a player, what's the best way to onboard into this game?
Maybe it's the same answer.
Yeah. I would say a Clash kit is an easy entry. I mean, heck, Team Covenant's got all the products you would need. They have the content.
Yeah,
well,
well,
depending on if you're wanting an
you can-
LGS.
There will
find
be
it-
more answers to that, but
Yeah.
you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, I think that's, you can find champion stores. You can obviously buy it
Yeah.
from us. Clash kits are a great place to start. But also, this is a problem you've identified that I think you're cooking a solution to, which is if you're brand new right now, an entry point that makes a lot of sense. So more on that later.
And not everybody wants to be, even though we're fun competitive, not everybody wants to be competitive. And I think this hits the fun competitive.
here? Or the-
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, that's the goal, is that all of it does, right? But I think the PvE, cooperative, social elements, and it's still competitive, and I'm trying to beat the boss, and I think it just ties into what we're doing.
Cool. Okay, so we have a hand, we have no mulligan.
Yep.
What happens now?
The boss will start. Okay, so I drew my 5 cards.
And we know each other's hands.
Yeah.
And real quick, just so you're aware, my minion cards in play can only have their attack and defense reduced by targeted effects. So if you had a Clash Ground in play, that
All
would
things
blank
are
it.
mine,
It
yeah.
doesn't affect my things. You have to target it specifically.
I see.
At the start of my boss ready step, which is how I would do my setup, normally I would play the top card of my minion deck, which I'll do right now. Okay, so this just comes into play ready.
And what's the name of this thing? So
This is the Tormentor of the Legions. Okay, it's the 3/2 Clash card.
And we're ignoring the red text.
You ignore the red text.
We
If
don't
there's-
want that.
If there's something called an elite minion in play, or if there's an elite in play, he gets safeguard. The top left on cards will either be like blank for minions, or this is actually like a guard. Okay, there are elites that are in this deck.
Got you. So-
or if Krung's in play, he is also elite.
So that skull icon means that if there's an elite in play, that thing's triggered.
Yes.
So in this case, safeguard.
Yep.
And what's safeguard do?
It can be targeted by effects.
Okay. It's just like safe from
Yep.
things.
It's just like you can't.
And torment is you have to block with 2 things to block it.
Yep.
And this is a fat 3/2 that has to have 2 blockers. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Garrett knows the pain. I feel like there's going to be pain.
I felt this pain.
So what you will feel in this game is the horde is building, and you need to be able to maintain or handle the horde and close that portal.
Okay.
Okay, that's the goal of this. So during my setup phase, normally I would set the top card. If there's an ambush card, I do the leading card, so the furthest left. That comes into play. I then set a boss counter on here, and then
started his turn this pass.
we're gonna move the
he just
focus
started
token.
he started his turn, and now I have focus.
Okay, play moves to the right. So if you're sitting, how you are, technically it'd move right, and then
This way, we're passing it this way.
In this
Yep,
little circle.
in that
right?
setting. And so I did that. Now, once we get past this little setup phase, then we're going to play an event. This is all for 1 and 1 for ... So minions in the ambush zone obstruct for minion cards in play without limit, in addition to obstructing for the boss once per turn. So normally they're not going to be able to block without limit. They normally come in 1 at a time, once per turn. And when this card leaves play, set the top card of the minion deck into the ambush zone. So what's special about the ambush zone is at the start of you guys' turns, a new card will get set down here. The first time you attack me in a turn, you'll get ambushed by this leading card.
So he always has one more minion out than it looks like.
And I can't have more minions, so the maximum number is the number of players plus 1. So I can't have more than 3 in our current setting.
I like limitations,
Yep. And
especially when they behoove me.
So now the event's in play. I don't have any resources because normally once an event leaves play, it goes to my resource
Every
zone.
turn when a new resource comes in, it's basically it's not a Clash Ground, but players familiar to the game. It's of some ways similar.
And you will want to be able
is
to
a Clash Ground, but it's an
control
event. Clash
the event because in order to get rid of an event, either you need to wait for my next turn for a new one to pop up, or you need to play a Clash Ground that has equal cost or higher.
Equal cost to the stat on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yes.
So like I have some 1-cost Clash Grounds in here right now that
can't play it.
I couldn't even play
There's
it.
still only a 1 Clash Ground rule.
Okay. So your minions here obstruct.
Yes.
And
The first attack pops up.
obstruct our first attack
Yes.
against you.
Yep.
And we can attack you or your minions.
You won't be able to attack the minions if they're ready.
Same as
There is a
Classic
keyword
outflash.
called daunting. Daunting basically says you have to attack this, and it can be attacked as if it were engaged, which is sideways.
Man, I might be converting to a Krung. Look how cool he looks.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so In the
We like
boss
it.
turn, the first turn, it's a little more uneventful because I'm not going to attack. I won't be playing cards and all that. So then it would go to the player.
Whoever
with
has the
focus
focus token, so even though I'm the second player, that's passed. It goes to me.
and you can
Now,
pop up the focus.
I
token
still
on
draw.
screen, too.
I still draw. So the nice thing, at the start of the boss turn, you give the focus token. So at the start of his turn, every time the focus token passes, if our contender would be the target of a clash buff, at the end of that clash, the focus token passes. So if he's swinging at me and I can see 5 things coming, and I buff my contender to stop it, after that first clash is over, the attacks are now going at you.
the minions are. You know.
So during a turn, if you got 4 players, you could spread the love.
Yeah.
But you got to do a clash buff to pass it.
Now, I happen to notice in my hand here, you said Clash Buff. I have this card called Energy Explosion.
You do.
This has been banned. What are you guys doing? Why is this
It
in
is
the deck? Who built my illegal deck?
So you can play with banned clash buffs in the PvE experience.
All right, all no holds barred in PvE.
Yes.
No holds barred.
Yeah, so you could play a 0 cost to get +2 defense for the turn, but
Yep.
then this switches to me. And they're
Then it
coming
would
at me.
switch, and then I have 2 defense, but now they're not attacking me.
So you,
The nice thing is, though, if you were to play that, let's just say I had a conquest card that had trigger victory, which I might. You could buff my guy because you could play a clash buff during my clash buff step because we can play cards as in
Gotcha.
the same phase, where I might be able to pick off 3 or 4 of his minions in a turn with the help of your clash buff. So and
at
then-
the start of each player's turn, I'm going to be setting a card in the ambush
yeah,
zone.
that's when his come in at the start of each of our turns. So then at the end of your turn, if you have the focus token, you get to ready 2 resources, which that's why it's nice to have clash buffs if they cost or instant
Yeah,
stuff
quick
that you can
actions,
play,
et
quick
cetera.
action. So I drew my card. We'll get going here. I'll play a resource. And then I'm going to play a weapon, which is Clarity's 1911. And then there's
haven't seen
not
that in a
much,
minute.
not much else I can do.
Yeah,
So
'cause
then,
you can't afford to attack.
yeah, so then I would pass. I get to ready up to 2 resources. This stays on me until his turn starts. Goes to
Yeah.
you. He sets another minion as an ambush.
All right, so it goes to me. I'm going to put my flare over here. I'll play it on this way to give you
Okay.
some space. So... that
Did you
seems-
draw?
No, I haven't. I
You even,
haven't.
and we both get to draw on the first turn, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
That's good. This is nice for.
I don't want to tell you how to play.
I think
because we
start
both
here.
draw,
Yeah.
which is a
What
But
card-
just know,
what card do you put down as a
I'm gonna be
resource?
bringing
That's
the
gonna be
heat
this.
with
That's
this
actually
one.
really good.
either because this can do it over and over. That could stop 5 damage, later. So either of those is a solid resource for. And you got 4 of those in there,
Put this
so
down as a resource. And then I'm going to play my boy Paul. Paul doing his best. So top right is the cost 1. Under that is a red diamond pip. Oh, look at that! I got the
Iconic.
Iconic.
you might have one of those versions in there. I can't remember, but you at least have some that aren't.
Look how cool Paul is. His only superpower is being awesome.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so that 1 pip is a threshold. So I have to use at least 1 red resource to play this card. So I will, because this is a red card. It costs 1. I paid the 1 red. We're good to go. Also note, any card can go down as a resource.
Yep.
And it provides that color.
That color.
So, and it says trigger enter. Good thing we're not in Des Moines. Target player draws a card. I'll choose me. I'm
Good
gonna draw a
choice.
card. Then another player draws a card. Now, technically, can I choose Ridge? I'm not
you
going to.
could.
I'm going to choose
Oh,
Garrett.
no.
Yeah, I'm going to choose Garrett.
I want more tools.
I also realized I'm using Krung sleeves against Krung with playing Chao Ling, who's the demon hunter, but that's all right. All right. So
So then I did my thing. What happens now?
you did your thing. Now you would have the option to attack if you wanted. Obviously, that doesn't
It doesn't work
help
if
us.
Paul's
He's a 0-2.
weakling.
You
Yeah.
could attack with your contender. We're just going to eat the damage.
I don't think it's good.
If you passed a ridge, what happens is essentially
I'll do
it'll
my
be
start
his
of turn
turn.
procedure.
He does all those things. This would pass to you. Now the first set of attacks are coming at you.
Glorious.
Yep.
I will pass.
Okay.
So we go to Ridge. This comes
So
to
that
me.
goes.
Okay, so start of turn procedure is
The nice thing is
top
you're the
card.
focus, but I've got a resource.
Yeah. Now, I thought you couldn't have more minions than...
I can have minions endless. It's ambush zone.
Gotcha. You can have 3 ambush
3
zone
ready
because there's
to
2 players.
spring
Yes.
on us.
Okay, so and
my
an elite
goodness.
just came in. Trigger enter, send guard minion
Hey, he's on our side.
to the oblivion. If a minion
We're
isn't
in
Yeah.
now, if
We're in survival
a
mode
minion
for a little
isn't
bit.
sent to oblivion this way, each opponent exhausts the clash card they control. So
There
in that
we go.
case, you're glad that a guardian was sent.
Now-
And it wasn't defeated, so that helps me.
Oh, because he's sent to Oblivion.
Yep.
Look at you guys using your sent to Oblivion rules. Too.
And we
Sorry, I
might need
forgot to draw my
to
two
gear up some
cards to
dice because
start.
we're going to start losing health here pretty soon.
Okay, so top card went in. Leading minion comes in. Okay? I do my boss counter.
So two
we're at
come in
top
for him every
card
time. Then
from
leading.
here.
Top
From
card,
the first card here.
leading card,
Token on.
boss counter.
And why are you at 20?
25, sorry, because I
25.
have 25 health instead of...
15. So it just got harder.
Yeah. And
And
then...
at 7 is when Krung comes out?
and 7. Yeah, Krung.
So we got 7 turns to kill the portal without Krung getting in, and we have to get through the horde.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will say, like, these decks they're solid.
Our decks?
They're good PvE decks,
They're good
yeah.
PvE decks. One thing that I do love about PvE, cards inherently have a different value than they do in standard constructed. There's an entire portion of our card pool that just got a lot better. Or
Good example.
unbanned.
Unbanned, yeah. Literally unbanned.
Unbanned.
Can you pull up the Covenant promo version of Flare Pyroblast Assault?
Maybe.
This was one of our exclusive promo cards that comes in the subscription. I love this art.
I don't know.
It's okay. If you just have the normal version. That's it.
Yep.
This is one of those cards that I want to play all the time, but constructed feels a little too fast for this to be insane, and it feels like it could be insane in this format specifically. So, anyways,
And especially in this format, if we had 4 teammates and you got to keep that out for
turn
all
cycles.
everybody's turn cycles, as opposed to we might need that sooner for defense than later. Yeah.
Okay.
So once we got through that, kind of setup phase, this event card becomes a resource for me.
4.
You can just answer it.
Yeah.
Danny's saying, what's the max number of copies of cards you can have for deck building? He's asking if it's 3. It's actually 4. You can run 4 copies of a card in your deck.
The first time,
So it's a new event.
new event. So this
What's
is
it called?
1 for 1 seems fair. The first time an opponent plays a clash card each turn, set the top card of the minion deck into the ambush zone.
What?
So,
It's hard.
so now
what have you done to me?
it would go to my primary phase. That's
Yeah.
where I'm
Okay.
I brought what I was going with that is I brought good decks. There are some PvE, like if people can find the sauce, as with anything,
There's
some
there's
things
some
in
tech.
PvE that like if you can figure it out, you'll be better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're not bringing all the secrets.
Do you kind of see it as like you play it, you lose, you play it again, you lose, you play it again, you win, you open a loot pack, now you have new cards that are particularly good against it. Then maybe you level up to heroic, and then you play and you lose, and you play and you lose, then you play and you win, get another loot pack, maybe you level up to whatever the red text craziness. Now you're very familiar with it. Now you have specific tools built for it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's gonna take a little time to figure out like what works. What are those keywords? What are those contenders? What are those cards that
Are
work
now
best?
very good.
And
yeah.
if you figure it out, okay, get 4 people, 5 people, play against the boss, play with the red text, and see if you can play the best cards and figure it out. And it's gonna take people, I think, a little bit to
Yep.
solve the Rubik's Cube.
Just a question before I move forward with my turn. Who has? Can I know how many cards there are in your hand?
It's like when someone's like, how many cards in your
8?
discard pile?
Yeah. You're like, why?
8.
You both have 8. Okay. All right. I was just genuinely curious.
Don't love that.
I know what that does.
But I'm in my primary phase, so I could play cards, I could attack, etc. But we'll get the party started. Focus token. I'm going at your contender for 3
So you're attacking with Tormentor of the Legions.
of the legions. A 3/2 torment, so you'd be able to.
Well,
make a block.
yeah. I will.
So
Gotta
basically, there's nothing you're going to be able to kill without a clash buff, and even with your clash buff, that's the only card you could possibly kill. But then you're using a clash buff now,
For
which
one
could probably be
little
saved
thing.
better for
I'll trust you. So
something.
he's attacking Flare for 3. I will not obstruct because he has Torment, so I'd have to obstruct the 2 things. So I'll just take 3 damage.
Okay.
You're going to eat a little bit here, I think.
Then we'll go 2 at your contender with Dauntless Defier.
What's Dauntless mean?
Daunting is his keyword. It just means that he has to be the target of attacks rather than my contender.
No, I could block this.
You could block that. And I
You
would
could block.
potentially do that one because that'll save you 1 extra
You know,
damage.
3's coming.
I see. And is Ridge? He doesn't have to attack with all these though.
I don't
He doesn't
have
have to, but there's, at this point,
I'll probably.
I would
be
say he's
attacking.
probably attacking with
If
everything.
he attacks with everything and I play a 2 cost, I could just swing at his face. and he can't block because
Yep.
these guys
And
are
the only
fast.
thing that would happen is you would have to attack.
There's
with
always a
daunt-
blocker down.
You would have to attack the thing with daunting
blocker.
first,
I see.
even though it's engaged, and then he's still going to spring the ambush. So we've got to get through him twice to get to the portal, which
need-
is why you've got some direct damage burn that's going to help pick
I
some of
see
the
that
stuff off.
coming. I need a boom town.
You need a boom
He-
town.
Here, boom needs to come. You
Yep.
know, here
And I've
comes
got to
boom.
get my stuff out that's big enough to not get
Get boomed.
boomed.
Okay, so I'll take 2 more.
Okay.
So you've done 5 out of my 30 life so far.
And then I'll swing 3.
And this one I'll block
I
with
would take. Yeah,
Okay.
I would,
Paul doing his
yeah.
best.
He's doing
So
his best.
I'll block.
And anyone watching, as long as the portal's open, I can't attack with this one. So,
And the portal is
open. The only way that it can be closed is if it's on the other side and you pay the resource stipulation to do so. So
Yeah.
the portal's
We're
always
not
open.
doing that right now.
Okay. I won't play any other cards or do anything else, so then I would pass turn.
So then, when he passes,
The
it would-
focus. Sorry.
that would go in, and then even though you just went last, you've got the focus token, so you're first.
So I go first, back to back. Okay, my resources ready.
Typical ready, yep.
Like
Typical
normal.
step, ready, draw, play.
Okay.
At this point, based on what I see in your hand and my hand, we need to clear up some of the minions, and we need to just get something on the board and survive for a little bit until we can get a little
you know,
bit of
just
stuff out.
yeah. You want to be able to start to outnumber the horde.
So my
get
thinking is this. 2, 3 turn, 4 turn. You know what I mean?
Yep.
5 turn, 6 turn.
With a bonus in there, and you know that might end up being resource stuff.
I'm gonna resource this.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll see what happens here. you
Yep.
know? But this
And
is
the good thing is, you at the end of your turn, although that's a basic action, so it doesn't help. But you do get to ready 2 resources, but you don't have anything you're
Not
gonna
yet.
play yet.
yeah. I'm gonna pay 1 for Paul doing his best.
Okay.
I'll draw a card, and I'll let Garrett draw a card. Yeah. Oh no. Then we'll play 1 for another Paul doing his best.
Okay.
Get them all.
Oof. Okay. And then that'll be me.
All right.
So start of Garrett's turn.
More stuff
Ambush.
coming out.
Zone
I get to
card.
draw again. See, this is why I do have a lot of cards in my hand, which would be nice if I can get them all down.
Use them in some way.
And-
Corlash Stan, I can't wait to record gameplay videos of this. The second cycle, crazy that you guys got PvE done before Fab did. I'm happy for you and not jealous at all.
Thanks. So I am going to set this trap just so you see what I have down at some point. If I can have something up, when he gets something out big, I can engage one of my things and engage his, save us maybe 5 to the face later.
A classic.
Yep, 5 to the face. Can't beat that.
Ryan, Paul is doing so good.
That's my little guy. I'll pay 2, play a Conquest the Undefeated, which
Okay.
is a 2/3 with a trigger victory. He can ready this card and it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn.
So every time you defeat something with that
He
card,
gets
it
to
readies in
restand
+1,
and
so.
he gets tougher.
So
It's almost got like the hammer in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
yes.
His hammer in this game is called Convergence.
Normally I'd be able to set more cards into the ambush zone, but remember I can't exceed that because he played his first card. I couldn't go past it. So
Yes.
You know I'm right, Jonathan.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I always picture that every time
now
I see that
he has
Conquest.
daunting, so he has to be the focus of the attacks first before you could attack any other minion or the boss.
So here's where the PvE comes in hand. Is I can swing with this, and you could target him with your clash buff.
And he would get that for the turn.
He would get it for the turn,
He'd be pretty sweet.
and I could probably take out a couple of those.
I'm telling you, it's like the hammer in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be able to ambush.
I say we
your
try
first
it. I just
attack.
want to see what happens.
All right.
Can you do that right now? Because again, everything has haste, like I said,
Yep.
which just means no summoning sickness. You played this card, you can attack with it immediately.
Right.
So walk me through that.
Yeah.
How's it?
So I would swing.
So you'll be swinging at him.
You
I
have to.
am. I have to.
For the viewer, the first attack gets
Don't
obstructed
be
by
necrotic.
the leading minion. So this
That
is
could
the
be a necrotic
scaled
guy.
lurker.
Yes. Some of his things that are going to ambush us have necrotic, which is literally happened to me last time we played, where I swung in with some big stuff and he just killed it.
So you would almost like, if there was a 1-out, like there is,
Yep.
I could have attacked with Paul. Is it the first of each of our attacks? Or the first attack?
It's the first attack on each of your turns. So
Okay.
you
My
could bait
first
out
attack,
an
your first
attack
attack.
if you're afraid of what the unknown is.
Okay.
Okay.
So the good news is it's a 1/2. So
It's a little baby.
it's a baby. It doesn't. That one doesn't have anything except for if the portal's open, it gets what? That's the one that gets +1.
No, if the portal's open, it can't be dealt non-clash damage, but this card gets +X +O, where X is equal to the number of opponents. So he's a
So he's
3/2
actually a
right now.
3/2. So we would trade
You would trade
So-
on this exchange.
if you want.
And you're attacking him now.
Yeah, and I
Because
don't
this
I don't have a response, so it'd be back to you for
Yep.
a buff.
So then it's our buff.
All right, so I'll go
You
ahead
can
and
buff
Energy
me.
Explosion.
you
Only
get
play
to-
this
All right,
card if
say
the
it.
contender is red, which it is. Contender Clash creates +2 attack, +2 defense till the end of turn. Then you may draw a card. So I'll draw a card, and I'll give
And
your
I'm a
conquest
4/5.
+2/+2.
Yep.
Okay.
So I pop it.
Okay. Normally I'd put them in my Oblivion. I don't want to spill here, so I'm just going to keep my Oblivion off.
Which gonna
Side.
be, you get, that's your
Yeah.
+1s.
4/5. So now I'm a 5/5.
So this
I
now
have
has
to
to be
swing
next
at the
attack.
daunting.
5,
Okay.
6, right?
I have an elite, so trigger defeat. The
No,
player
5,
with
5, 5, 5.
trigger defeat. The player with the most non-token accessories sends an accessory they control to Oblivion.
Which one's that one?
That's me.
This is Dauntless to Fire, has the trigger defeat on him.
Oh wait, is this supposed to be with you?
Not till the start of his
yeah.
turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll rotate.
So I'll
Okay.
be taking the next attack. So now I'm
So
a 5/5.
really
now I'm a
you're-
6/5.
You're +2 from me, +1 from your ability.
Yep.
And that's on your attack, but
Yep.
we'll just-
So I should be a 6/5.
now the
I
damage
think.
you take from each of these attacks, does it go away?
After it resolves at the end of the clash.
That's an updated rules thing
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is where I can kind of empty his clash zone here. So now
So this conquest, beyond being a good card in general, is amazing in this format.
it is right now because I normally would be able to take out one of his things, and I'm about to take out 4. So
4 is more than 1.
it is. Yep.
Who are you tagging first?
Let's go at the 3/2.
3/2. Okay. He had safeguard, but that doesn't matter in that. 3/5.
How do you feel about this, Ridge? This conquest that's happening here.
I would say
He's about-
don't get too excited.
He's about to die, so I'm gonna get in the damage while I can because I could just right now I could stop. I'm gonna have a blocker the next turn because he's gonna be coming at me. But now is our chance to do any damage to the portal. I'd
Are we
rather
not getting rid
eat
of
it
this guy?
because I haven't. I can't attack that guy.
Because he's ready.
Guardian of the Portal.
He's ready. So you wouldn't be
Oh,
able to
yeah,
attack
yeah,
him.
yeah. It was all the stuff you attacked with.
And remember,
I see,
my
I see.
minions can't block. Like, I can't just be like, oh, I'll get in the way.
Yeah, so I'm an 8/5.
So you're swinging for 8 here, so I would take 7.
Yep.
Because I have 1 defense.
Which is more damage combined than I've done in the last few games against Ridge. So
What is the one major factor that has changed in those games? Is it
having a partner and figuring out the combo of
just like a
buffing
really,
and
really
conquest
charming,
and building and
like
deciding that we're
strong,
all that,
sturdy
yeah.
looking, handsome
yeah.
Teammate?
All
Yeah,
those things
what
help,
it is?
generally
yeah,
speaking.
Okay, so we do 7 because he has 1 defense.
Yep. And now I'm spent, resource spent. I would pass turn back to Ridge at this point. The focus would go to me.
Okay.
So
So,
And
top
this
card.
goes.
Sorry, I
that's
draw
gone.
2 first.
You draw 2 every
anything
turn.
he does, there's not much coming back. Not much I can do.
Another elite. Wow. Okay. Gur. Gur just came into play.
That's
Garrett.
bad for. That's
Trigger defeat. He just shuffles, shuffle this card into the minion deck, and then put the top card of the minion deck into play engaged. So,
He has some other things that if he gets Gur and
or
Rizlak
Morak or Rizlak,
or like people
they
that
play off of each other.
discarded
in some really
characters that
cool
people
ways.
know from the game. Okay, that guy just got necrotic.
Necrotic fodder.
Necrotic fodder.
That's the next one that comes out,
Literally.
and then
This art, guys,
Pretty cool.
seriously,
I like that.
crazy.
fun fact that is one of our main artists for the comic books.
Oh,
If anybody's
guy.
interested
Who's
in
the
a
artist?
comic
Mayank
book
Kumar.
series,
Yeah,
you'll
pretty
be
awesome.
seeing a lot of his artwork, and not only in the next comic books, but in upcoming TCG sets.
Then event comes to my resource zone, and we're going to.
And the resource zone is
Oh,
how you use the cards from your hand.
yes.
yes, that's how I'm going to be playing these cards. Okay.
And the real version,
Reinforcer
these are
just came out.
oh, thank you.
That's an event card. Now,
colors and labeled.
Reinforcer is a special event card that he actually trigger enter.
That's not the right card, Jonathan.
Oh,
It's Reinforcer.
Reinforcer,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Reinforcer.
Yeah, so this card enters the minion zone instead of the Clash Ground zone, which is where
it's
the
another
events and
body.
the Clash Grounds go.
But you
and
just
when-
cleared this board.
I did.
And when he comes into play, a new event comes out.
Don't like that.
Oh, well,
bit.
okay. So this, it helps me in the short term, but actually I'm not as happy. Send all minions in play to Oblivion. And then each opponent sends Clash cards they control to Oblivion for each minion sent this way. And if a player cannot
both
send
lose
that many Clash cards, their contender loses 1 health for each Clash card they can't send. Okay, so right now I have to send 4. 4 are gone. My board just got cleared.
Including the Guardian.
Yep.
So then I have to send 2 and I lose 2 health because
Yep.
And I'm going to send mine and I lose 3.
that's for you.
So go into my... Now the Guardian, he doesn't... He would go into my minion Oblivion, but like he won't ever shuffle back into my deck. So he's just gone from the game. Okay,
So honestly,
I
for
want that
me,
later.
Yeah, that taking 3 right there
It's
was
fine.
I'm okay with that.
I want that later, but we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
Actually, I have 2
So
resources.
let's try
that's right.
this. I'm in my primary phase. A couple of my changes my turn a little bit. Okay, so I'll pay 2. Put out Rebellious Yeti. So now, when another minion you control would be targeted by a card effect, it affects this card instead. And if I have an elite in play, trigger defeat target. Put target minion in your Oblivion on top of the minion deck. So you can
Now,
kind of
when that
reset.
card came out, did it defeat all your minions? That thing.
Does it feed my minions?
Does it defeat them?
Oh, no, it sends.
Okay. Just,
Yes.
Yep. Keeping it clean, keeping it
Yep.
clean.
It sends them.
We start
So
pumping out some Nova
I've got a
tokens pretty
2/3.
soon. By the time we
So I'll
hopefully
swing
hit
for
a supernova.
2 at Garrett because he's got the focus token. It goes at his contender.
Yep. And that, even though I could do that now, but I think I
Not
want
worth
to
it.
save
Yeah,
that.
agreed.
So I will do nothing.
Okay. I got nothing.
Gravecaller. Yetis.
And then now it's going to be the end of my turn. So I'm going to set the top card of my minion deck into the ambush zone.
Yep.
Easy peasy. We're about to win
Yeah,
this
we
game.
we survived that. Pretty
Now,
good.
do I go ahead and draw it, or do I wait till you're
just
done?
me. I'll start now because I get the
I just got a little excited.
focus. All right. Well, I'm starting to pull in some big stuff.
Hey, that's a gangster card right there.
Yes. So now I'm in the
Oh,
scenario
yeah,
where
yeah. For
I'm
later.
kind of in that scenario. So I actually don't want to put that out right now. Even
Well,
though
I can do this.
could.
Just don't get too overconfident.
Right.
Krung.
I haven't
be a
drawn
problem.
yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah, I'm half tempted, even though that's going to be really good later, that I might end up playing these
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So I have enough big bodies that I'm hoping
I'm with you on that.
hoping I can do something here. So I guess I'll play Haven hiding in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
So what should I do? Should I gain 2 health or draw a card?
It says a lot about who you are,
It
honestly.
does. I kind of have
You have
some
other
cards.
teammates.
Yeah, but on that I'm playing that. The next turn I'm
Yeah.
playing that. I think I might want to actually just gain the health. At this
Yeah, I'm
point.
with you on that.
I'm gonna gain.
You're
the
gonna have
health
plenty of
back.
cards,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna have cards. So
Who knows? Paul
I'll
might
gain
help
the
as well.
health. I'm probably not gonna use that on her, so I'm just gonna. There's nothing better than kids with guns, so I will equip Haven with a 1911.
This is
Players
like my
1911.
I'm being sarcastic comment earlier. Just be clear. Sarcasm.
Kid show, not true.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right, so she's
2/3.
getting Clarity's 1911.
Yep.
So she's
So
plus 1 attack,
She's a
plus 1
2/3,
defense.
so at least he's got a 2/3,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna flip up the first card. So there's a
First
decent
attack.
chance that I know there's only a few things in there that have 2 health, so decent chance I'm gonna get
Roasted.
owned by that.
Yeah.
So the only option would be for you to burn it, but that's all right.
My turn?
Yeah,
Ryan
I'm
Roper
out.
says he can't believe that you would put a little girl in front of the horde of monsters. But what people need to realize is
yeah,
it's
no,
Haven, and she'll
Wait,
figure it
you
out.
have it until I go, right?
Should be okay.
Yeah, until
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just turn.
yeah. You keep the focus.
I'm
till
doing
my turn.
too much talking.
Yeah.
You're up.
All right, I'm going to keep it simple.
What did Ryan say? I missed that.
Oh, I got to set my ambush card down. Don't want to forget that.
I
Well,
get
at least if I'm throwing a little girl out to the monsters, I gave her a gun. So
that's a different way of looking at that.
But
Problem.
she does have her backpack at all times.
Which of
Yeah.
these do you think is going to be more valuable
she
in the
could
end?
stuff. Oh.
Because I'm not getting rid
Yeah,
of
you're not
those.
going to get to it. I would
I'm gonna
say
do, you know,
this is more valuable to you in the short term. He has some things with 5 defense that you haven't got to see yet, but you might be able to
deal with.
deal with.
All right, I'm going to play Solar Smash and do 3 damage to that.
Okay. He does have a trigger defeat, but there's no elite in play, so that
We
definitely
did
helps.
it. And then I'm going to trigger my ability when one or more clash cards I don't control is defeated by non-clash damage. That was not a clash card. I get a Nova token, so I'm going to put a little die here for the number of
Okay.
tokens.
Yep.
I'm gonna-
And you do a damage to Ridge, so the portal has 0 health now
0
for the
health
rest of
right
the turn.
now.
Okay.
You could swing contender.
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Play a 1-cost flare,
Yep.
and then I'll exhaust it to do 1 to you.
Okay, so
Yep.
ping me. All right, take
I'm
one.
going to go ahead and swing you with flare for 1.
All right. So remember that damage will fall off, right? Because you switch phases.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll just ping you for 1.
Yeah, you could attack, but
I
nothing.
said till turn.
It'll be
I
a
meant
wash.
Till you, yeah.
Till I
Till
attack.
Till you attack, but
Then
either way, you did a thing. We did a damage.
then
which
I'll
was
pass.
a lot.
Plus, if I actually
reminds me-
attack, that you would get to play a card.
It reminds me of Little Giants when it's like they gained a yard.
We did it. We're celebrating now.
Yeah. And so start of Ridge's turn, you're gonna get the focus token.
And I
gets
won't
to
be
do all
setting
his
an
stuff.
ambush.
A sweet roll. So earlier they clarified that alternate win conditions do not work in PvE.
Yep.
So then I ready too.
You got
Yep.
this one too, Zach?
I ready to
Oh,
at
yeah,
the end
that
of my
passes to
turn,
me,
and
got
then
it.
at next time when it's yours, you're ready to.
Grave
All right.
Caller saying, "What's the release date? And is the date worldwide?"
There will be a
And now,
hard, yeah.
So there's a few things going on in the world right now.
yeah. Yes.
Capital
hard
T
release
tariffs.
dates,
Yeah.
soft release dates.
You're working through some final stuff and print timelines. And that kind of
yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
There
So
is a
all
date
the
on the
files are off to
calendar.
the printer.
Yeah.
It's ready to go. As you can see, we would like to have it released later this summer.
Yeah, but
But
soon
we will
trademark,
announce an
TM.
official release of what that actually looks
Danny,
like.
good night. Question about the lore: Are all cryptids are discarded, but not all discarded are cryptid? Is that right?
Say our game does a good job of explaining things you can't explain without 100% explaining it in the most circular reasoning way.
forgot to draw
Is
my
that
two.
like you're thinking of like these major earth-shaking events? You know, you look at Atlantis or these just whatever extinction events or different things that nobody actually knows what happened, but could have been an awakening on kind of just civilization being reset in the past in the universe. In similar fashion, the discarded, as you just learn through different things in the book, like in China and Shaolin, he's a demon hunter. They think they're demons. They think they're other things, but in other parts of the universe, people experience them as things. And the book does, or the story doesn't actually address whether like a Bigfoot is a thing without it
Yeah,
also being
yeah.
a
But we
discarded.
saw a Yeti.
But we know it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Shaoling is an emo sheshao, which translates to demon hunter.
Cool.
Okay, so
what-
I did
what
my
happened
setup.
here?
I put my top card here. My leading ambush came
And what's
out.
the name of this thing?
That is Creature of the Collective.
And then what's the next thing?
The next one is Tormentor of the Legions. You've seen that one already.
Okay.
That one is. He
Just for
doesn't have an
my
elite out, so it doesn't.
my friends at home need to see what the cards do. You know what I
Creature
mean?
of the Collective, yeah. So
Spoiler
when this
City.
card is sent to an Oblivion by an opponent's card effect, that opponent sends a non-token card they control to Oblivion.
So
Just card, period.
if I deal damage to it, it's fine.
Yep.
But if I have a card that says
Send.
send to Oblivion,
Yeah.
Yep. And if an elite's out, it gets +X, where X is equal to the number of minion cards in play with different names.
and there are no elites out currently.
Yep. Okay, and then now I moved my event card here, and now we've got Defending the Portal. The boss can't be attacked as long as there is a minion in play. Minions in play get dauntless.
So you have to attack the
You have to
minions
attack
now,
the
and-
minions now.
Okay.
And that'll
can't target
stay
the
in
boss.
until his turn unless we play Clash Ground. That costs 2 or more, which
Yes.
I don't even have
Not
one in
looking
my
good.
hand.
No.
All right, so you've got the focus.
I have
All
Grant
right.
Park Chicago in my deck, which I don't even need to play actually because I have some cards I want.
Let's try this. I'm gonna pay.
Good news is if we can just survive a few more turns here and build a couple things, we can do a couple things. But
I like
keep
it.
the horde at bay.
You're talking in like
cautiously optimistic.
we can, we can do A, B, and C, and then
We can do A, B, and C. Then we'll keep counting.
The problem is I have just too many options right now.
I hate when that happens.
quality problem.
Yes. So this is something new. I'm going to give the Tormentor of the Legions a card called Unchained Fury. This is actually a new type of card. It's called an empowerment action. So Unchained Fury. All right, so now the attached to target minion. The attached minion gets +1 defense and daunting, and it's now a guard. Okay, so it just gets that little guard symbol, which matters sometimes. If the portal's open, he gets trigger defeat, draw a card, and if it's closed, then he gets trigger defeat, target contender with the most health loses 3 health.
So he has daunting.
Yep. All of them have
We have to
daunting
attack
right now
him.
anyways.
His event card.
He got
so-
another +1/+1.
Gotcha.
Luckily, they all have daunting, so we can choose which one we want to attack. But
And
when he puts that on his thing, that's a 5/6, and then you have to attack that. That's
I'm also going to put a card from my hand onto. So this is a special thing that the boss can do, where
Did you say that a lot?
yeah.
on the back of the cards is a
Not even during the game.
+1/+1,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
and I get to attach as an empowerment action.
Wait, what's
to
letting you
these
do
cards.
this?
What's your minion deck?
This is the boss deck.
Boss deck.
What's letting you do this?
Sorry,
What allows you to do that?
That's cool.
a rule. A rule allows me to do it, but during my primary phase, once per turn, I can actually use a card.
To +1/+1.
Yeah, to +1/+1. It counts as an empowerment action. Now, empowerment actions are different than like weapons, where if you defeat a card with a weapon attached, the weapon just falls back to your accessory zone. The card goes with the minion if it leaves play.
Do you think we'll ever see empowerment cards in a construction environment?
Absolutely.
Big world, lots of possibilities.
Oh, I forgot to add my little boss turn.
Yep. We got 3 more turns.
So I'll go
something.
Don't love it.
three at focus contender.
I will be taking that in the teeth.
Okay, 3, and then 3.
So I have 13 damage out of 30. At 15 damage, I will get an ability once per turn during my primary phase. I can engage this card and send a Nova token I control to Oblivion, and then give a Clash card I control Flight to the end of turn.
Which
Now,
isn't going to help us right
Flight
now.
doesn't help in this encounter because in the rulebook it explains that essentially flight doesn't matter.
We're in a
Minions
subway
can block.
underground. The flight doesn't. Flight's irrelevant for us right now.
The sky's only
We can
so
only
high.
fly to the ceiling. So.
Yeah.
So then I'll pass my turn, set my ambush card into minion zone.
Then it's over to us.
So what's unfortunate is that
I'm
one,
opposed to
there's been 2 things that have set the boss back. It was Conquest, which took away my board, which was 4 or 5 minions. But then there was the wipe out everything. So I've lost 10 minions at least, roughly.
The horde is still hoarding, but
6, 7,
So,
8, 9. So
my
I
next
lost
turn
9.
I'm going to play this, which
I
Oh,
didn't wanna
10.
play
I was
this.
right. It's 10 exactly.
be a good time to do it, and actually, yeah, be fine.
Because next turn is
Right,
this.
exactly.
Turn after this. Turn
And
after this.
I'm going
this
to play
guy.
this, and I don't want you to play that after I play this. So,
Yeah, I agree.
play it before.
All right. I'm going to do this and do 1 damage to your contender,
Okay.
which really just gets rid of your defense, right?
Yep.
And I'll play Here Comes the Boom.
Okay.
So it's 5 damage to everything on the board.
All right.
Now you procced your
here's my
contender a
minion.
couple times.
How many did I get rid of over there, Ridge? 2?
2.
2.
So I'll trigger this twice and do 2 more damage to your portal.
And get 2 Novas.
Yeah, click up to 3,
Yep.
3 Nova tokens. Then I will pass
Okay.
to Garrett.
I'm at 15 health now, so I'm down 10.
All right. We're basically already won.
We're doing it. We're really doing
Can't you
it.
feel it?
Don't need
The
two
horde
guns.
hasn't been able to hoard fully, but
I can. If we hadn't cleared your board both the times we did, you would have like
it's been 2 or 3 board resets. But
bazillion things out
that's,
right
that's
now.
why we work together.
That's right. Resetting the board seems important against a horde.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I want to do this yet now that I sit, because we've actually done enough damage to him that I'm not going to get my enter effect, as opposed to if I wait until I'm a little down. Unless we can
Yeah,
kill
but what
him
else are you gonna do?
first. Well, my only other option is to play this and
I feel like she's
buff
pretty
myself.
good, right?
Yeah, it's
'Cause
at least a
You
body.
get to draw the card too, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a then foretell.
Oh, I thought that was a different card.
Is it Omniscient Envoy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
That's all on our trigger enter, and I don't have.
No, you
I
get
get
the,
to draw,
you get
but
the
I don't.
then
Yeah, I
either
get to
way.
draw, but I don't get to.
That's pretty powerful.
I don't need the 4/6.
It's the card I thought it was,
I don't need
yeah.
to get a 4/6, so I'm
Yeah.
okay.
It's just a body.
Yeah, just a body. Clarity Omniscient
Only one
Envoy.
trigger from Boom, according to Ryan Roper. Do you agree with that?
I guess I read it again. I'm not. He knows more rules than I do.
Whenever one or more clash cards you don't control
Oh,
are
yeah.
defeated.
One or
More.
more. Oh wait, so I get a health back.
Yeah.
Yay.
Ryan, stay out of it.
Whose side are you
Whose
on,
side are you
Roper?
on?
House rules.
I said something nice about Ryan earlier, and I'm thinking about
Take
taking it back.
Take it back.
Thinking about it. One more from you,
I see
and
our
it's
two,
over.
our two rules guys in the chat correcting us.
Jason and Roper.
Hey guys, stay out of it.
Yeah, we're just here having a good time.
Yeah.
Don't need your rules committee. Just kidding. Thank you for the help.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
Sarcasm. We're talking about sarcasm this
Hey,
morning.
Ryan, I will keep taking all.
Yeah,
the
Ryan,
help
we
I
love
can
you.
get.
So I should probably just swing with 4/4, huh?
You could.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I can take out 90% of the cards in his ambush zone. All right, so 4/4 at you.
I feel like I should have read the back of the box earlier when I was setting the stage.
All right, Burly Enforcer came out from the
Unfortunately, he
ambush
played a
zone.
thing with 5 defense.
Well, that's annoying, Ridge.
So
This was just the
breakthrough.
first one in your line.
was
You
the
didn't
first
choose
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. Always the leading.
That's a beefy boy.
Yeah, Burly
Early
Enforcer.
boy.
Breakthrough
Burly boy.
1/5. Trigger attack. He gets +X/+0, where X is equal to the number of resources
Ugh.
the
So
defending player controls.
he's a 1/5, but when he attacks right now,
And throughout
he's
the
a
game, he gets
4/5,
stronger and
next
stronger and
turn, he'll be a
stronger.
5/5 when he attacks me, so he will kill this on the next.
Well, I can't target.
Or yeah, you're gonna kill.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
it's always coming at contender.
You're gonna do 5 to my
He
face.
will try. Yeah, we'll see.
I'll do 5 to my face. So I don't know if it's worth a clash buff to take out that one card and get it down, because next turn he's coming out for 5. What do you think? You're the only one with the clash buff.
Sorry. What was the question?
Do you want to clash buff?
He's a
this
1/5. Do we want to clash
to-
buff and then kill
Oh,
it?
yeah, for sure. And then
And
you
draw
live.
it, and then I live,
Yeah,
and then
of
you
course.
draw a card. Okay.
Let's Energy Explosion Champion Edition. I don't know if we have this card, but it looks crazy.
That was a set one
That's like early.
early tournament kit champion.
This reminds me of like very old cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a
from-
clash buff.
Oh, perfect.
Boo.
Bring it on. Okay, put the leading card in the ambush zone into play. Target minion you control becomes the defender. It's just
So
a scaled lurker.
My 6/6 killed the
2/2.
2/2.
And we can't buff a buff,
And we
right? You
buff
can't triple
buff,
stamp a double
no.
stamp.
I
Yeah.
can't even play. Yeah, you can't play it, and I can't target it because it can only be one.
It has 2 other abilities on it that don't really matter. I have to have an elite for one, and I have to have a guard for the other. And neither of
dude.
those things happen. Okay.
So I live. His little 1/2 dies. You got to draw a card.
Not exactly how I want to be using.
Not an excellent use of our resources.
buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was worth it.
It
saving
was
this,
worth
'cause
it to save it for.
If we don't do it, he doesn't play the card.
Yeah.
He just gets rid of clarity, and we can't have that.
Yep. So I'm out of stuff,
Okay.
and I'll pass.
My turn.
Yep. So
Boss man.
now I'm the
Okay.
target.
Remember, ready everything. Draw 2 cards. So kind of our setup. Top card.
1, 2.
Another
Leading
lizard
ambush.
man.
Oh wow.
It's the lizard army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2
Scaled
scaled
lurker.
lurkers came in. And then boss
got
counter.
nothing
So
on
we got
this.
5 counters. The event leaves play. New one
So
comes
both of those
in.
things are 3/2s.
All right, surround them. This is a good one for you guys. Each opponent may ready a clash card they control. All minions get torment. And if I have a guard, which
I
I
can't
don't,
block it.
so sometimes you want to get rid of the guards for your own purpose. Sometimes you want to leave them in play, whatever. Normally, if I would have a guard in play, then your clash cards get recover 1. So it'd be a nice opportunity to just kind of gain some health back on your contenders. Okay. All right. So then it goes to my primary phase. And let's go with... I'll pay 3. I'm going to play Fury of the Forgotten. Actually, wait. We're going to wait. Who's got the control? Garrett?
Garrett has the focus. Yep.
I don't know.
Grape
Or the
color.
focus, sorry.
No one knows.
Grape color asking
No
if
one
there's
knows.
any word on replacing the class case with something else. I really like the idea of pre-made decks for a single hero, like an armory deck in Fab. It's kind of like a pre-constructed deck.
Oh, okay.
That
You guys ever thought about something like that?
would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be cool. Have we thought
Maybe
of it?
we thought.
is that on that
Yes.
list, that idea list? But you have to choose like
It's on the
make the
list.
comic
to-do
book, make the
list?
set,
Yeah.
make the thing, have the
Ideas
event.
and to-dos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
It's hard to announce all your plans at once until you make it happen.
yeah. There's
There's some moving pieces.
a lot of stuff going on. Okay,
But
interesting.
yes, that's the easiest way to
Do you
answer
think
that.
something like that might eventually happen for
Very specifically?
Yeah.
I'm getting real coy.
Yes,
I mean, here's the
probably.
thing, though. Anyone have any ideas? Let's say they were going to do something like that, hypothetically.
Would anybody want it?
Would anyone want it? Who'd be interested? If there's just like a single, let's say, I don't know, $40, $50 entry point, full constructed deck in the game. But also, if you're Alpha Clash, you have this awesome comic book universe. You have these very fun forward events. Any ideas on how they might do that in a way that is more than just, copying what other people are doing? There's more Alpha Clash of them.
More Alpha Clash.
If you're out there
yeah.
thinking, they may have already had some of these ideas, but if you have any suggestions or something that would be helpful for you to get into a game like this, I
Yeah.
think it'd be helpful for them to hear what that looks
Yeah.
like. It's not that awkward, great fella. I'm making them awkward
So,
about it.
I'll swing at contender with focus. So trigger attack gets +X+O. He's got breakthrough. So I'm coming at you for 5. I'm a 5/5.
So at this point, that is a lot of damage, but I'm still at 22. So
Not
I
worth using
could
this.
save it. At least if you do it, I have that until the end of turn. So he probably won't swing with anything else.
Oh, on your contender.
Well, if you play it on here,
Yeah.
then he could go here, yeah. But so then I'm gonna take 6.
Do you think this is worth more than that later?
Well, that's the general card we're probably gonna use it on. That'll kill us the most probably throughout the game. So we could just get rid of it, and you can draw another card.
I feel like 5's a big number.
It's 5's more. That's a lot.
So you're going to block there?
Yep, I'll obstruct.
All right. You got any clash buffs over there, Ridge?
You're a what?
Are you gonna clash
He's
buff?
obstructing with this.
No, but you're a 4/4.
Yep.
The right answer is he's a winner.
Yep.
That's what he is.
So let's go with no.
Okay. All right. Well, we will clash buff.
Okay.
Yeah. Energy explosion. Draw a card. Give clarity +2/+2.
Okay. Whoops. So then what I'll do is I'll swing contender for 2.
It's for 3, isn't it?
That's all you. Man.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3.
Corlash says interested exclamation point. Ryan Rober says I think absolutely, especially if there were some exclusives, both art exclusives as well as unique cards. Corlash saying if they do an armory type deck, please include a sideboard. Ryan saying one of the huge strengths of this game is the art, giving exclusive alt art contenders and stuff. Now it is an interesting one. Do the Fab armory decks have exclusive cards in there? Because on the one hand, they're a good entry point to the game. We played with some of those
You only
armory
attack
decks
them with
recently.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to do this before I attacked. I forgot. I'm going to move the focus token.
Card laid is card played, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're like talking, and I'm like, anyways, move the token. Move the token.
What was your say?
Until the end of turn.
What's the card?
This is Scent of Blood.
Oh.
Scent of Blood. I also want to like showcase some of the cards. Move the token, focus token to target opponent. Until end of turn, minions you control get trigger attack. If the opponent being attacked has the greatest number of cards in hand, this card gets brutal 1.
Brutal 1. What's that?
It'll deal
Does
another
extra
damage.
damage.
Yeah. The question I was going to put the armory
That's
decks.
7.
It seems like they do have exclusive cards, but it's kind of a strange thing for me to have an entry point like that. And you guys kind of had this going on with the Clash kits because there were cards you could only get in the Clash kits.
Yeah. Clash
But-
Kits got caught in an awkward middle
Space.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as like a player, I don't know. How do the Fab players feel about the armory decks? Because if you need to buy those to get the cards, even though you don't need an entry point at that point, like if you're an active player, would you rather have it have cards so that you have to buy it every time that one of these things is coming out, or would you rather it just be an entry point that new players use to get into the game? I can see from a publisher side the appeal of making it worth buying for all your current players, but there's some trade-offs there, I assume.
Yeah, and their Clash kits went through an evolution. They were originally the first set. Most of those cards were in the set, even some of the epics. Then it went to, hey, let's put some exclusive cards in there because people, hey, I don't want just the stuff I can get in the set. That was all everybody was saying. So okay, let's put some stuff in there. Then you do it. Then it's, hey, I can't get that stuff unless I buy this thing, and I have to buy 2 of them if I want to play set. That doesn't feel good. So then the last one we did, there were no exclusive cards, only alternate arts. So then that was our happy medium, but the product was still in like an awkward place of, is it a starter product? Is it not a starter product? Does it offer this thing?
It's like a way to try the game, but it's not a way to actually play the game.
And it wasn't the most beginner friendly as they got a little better. So it was like neither competitive nor entry or satisfied all the needs. And we're hoping that this new product picks a lane and does the thing.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right. So, 3.
To me?
Yeah, and I can't help you at all.
I see how that goes. I'm over
Plus
here
1
spinning all my
Just-
cards.
just-
Plus 1, 4. So
Yeah, I
4,
can use another
4.
die because I'm already
It's
at
a-
6.
And then I'm going
Wait, would you do the second time?
brutal 1. So 4 and 4.
So an extra and then 4 more total.
Yeah. And I'll pay 3. I'm going to go Fury the Forgotten. Ready target minion you control. It gets breakthrough. And when it
Don't kill my partner.
deals clash damage to a contender this turn, send target clash card you don't control to oblivion.
Uh-oh.
Say that last thing again.
So if it
my
deals-
friends. Oh
if
wait,
it-
I have 2 resources ready, right?
At the end of your turn, yeah, you had 2 resources.
So I should have 2
resources
here.
ready.
Not that that matters. So yeah, how
So
many
if
am I
I
taking?
D 4.
And then what happens?
He gets to send
Send.
my thing.
I don't think that's fair.
The boss doesn't play fair.
I don't think it's fair at all. I have 5 health left.
We just clash buffed for that thing.
Was the goal of this session to
Have fun.
humiliate me
No, I thought it was
in
have
front of
fun.
all of my friends?
Isn't the boss fun?
I'm kind of competitive. I hate losing in front of all these people.
And then, yeah, that's going to be my turn.
Gravecaller says, I will repeat this for the 3rd time this stream. This art is insane. Ryan Roper, someone said, Corlash said, Ryan said it best. Ryan said, in reference to that, I think there are 2 levels. I think you have an entry-level products that don't have exclusives outside of the art, and competitive decks that can have exclusives. Like Fab's Armory decks. Are Fab's Armory decks actually competitive, though? That's not what I've heard. They seem like entry-level constructed decks with exclusive cards that are very good that you buy to get those cards. But they also have some, like Steven had one deck that it's got, what previously were not the lowest level, like medium level rarity cards. And it just had a play set in there. And it's like, that is another impact too, because if you're putting competitive decks as pre-constructed decks, you're kind of unraveling the collectability piece of like,
There's ways to do it. You could do play sets of non-foiled, non-special things.
Basic stuff.
Stuff, alternate art, change the... I don't know, just things I've thought of.
Yeah,
That might make sense.
yeah. Look at the ideas list.
Yep. It's on the list. So you actually get to go for us the 3rd time in a row because you went
And it flips.
and
I
then
got it
and then it went and now he passed a token and you get to go
So
again.
at the start of your turn, I set my top card into the ambush zone.
And we need you to stay alive. So, folks,
I want more burly enforcers. Then that's really fun. Because then I do Fury.
and
of the
what's
Forgotten.
their stat line?
They're 1-2 right now.
Just asking for a friend.
only
Oh,
one
sorry,
die.
but he's a 3-2. Sorry,
both 3-2s.
because of his second ability,
Okay, I'll play
and he can't be dealt non-clash damage. So you can't just like ping him.
either of those guys.
Yeah, you could boom him, won't touch him.
Yep. We got to actually kill him.
I don't
You gotta
like
fight him.
I was gonna do
Yeah,
this.
that
These guys
would
are
be-
dodgy.
That
Let
would
me
be...
rethink my life then, because this is what I was gonna do, but I'm not
Right.
gonna be able to do that.
And
so.
neither of those...
I have no more resources.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play this thing.
Yep, at least get some defense on the field. And
Yeah, it's funny how much of an aggro player I was because I just wanted to smoke one of those guys.
And honestly, just like a like a raid, I see you kind of pulled aggro, if you will, and now I'm going at
penalizing
you.
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
play.
healer needs to pull
I'm gonna
aggro.
play this beautiful Flare Pyroblast Assault exclusive
Yeah.
Covenant promo. The Covenant logo looks so good on this. Thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah,
It's a
looks
great
awesome.
privilege and honor.
No, it's cool. And we take honestly, we take pride in like picking a card that we feel like, yeah, this is cool. This is gonna be fun.
Cool. Yeah. The most recent promo, the Clarity as Death.
So good.
Yeah. Anyways,
So a
I'll
couple
just play
things.
it. I'm not going to attack because
I was going to say
I need a blocker.
You can attack if you want. You're not going to be the focus. I'm going to be the focus.
We just hope it doesn't
So
switch.
we hope one, he doesn't switch it, which then we're just in trouble. Or if this only thing he has down has necrotic, he's going to pop you and
But
trade.
someone's got to eat it.
But somebody's gonna.
All right.
The goal is that I'm the one who's
Flare Pyroblast Assault's going to attack one of your scaled,
your 3/2s.
Okay.
whatever.
And
that
he doesn't have any resources, so we're just hoping for no necrotic.
Oh, it's my Morak. Darn it.
Which that's actually you traded with it.
You're
and
going to
that's
trade.
Good.
But he normally gets a trigger attack where I get to put the minion card from the top of the minion Oblivion into play.
But he didn't attack, he defended.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So you
that's
killing
a
that
really
was
good,
like really good for
yeah,
us.
he's not a good ambusher.
I appreciate the moral support.
It
because
was
I'm about to
really
get
good. That was better than a.
Just Morak, yeah.
That was better than a solar smash because we couldn't have killed that.
Yeah. Tell me this. If I am defeated and knocked out or dead
It's
or whatever.
just me.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a cool
so
art.
good.
That's a cool art. Was
So
that-
if I'm defeated,
that's Renee.
the game is not over.
Right.
I just get to sit here like a dunce.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Cheer me on.
Yeah.
And just watch me just now become the
I don't-
focus
I don't
of
get to be
every
like-
single thing.
I don't get to be like the ghost of Flare, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
spooking
Just
him.
turned
Oh,
a
look,
couple
random
people into
damage.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay,
so,
so-
it's me.
Ambush.
Yeah, me. All right. See if I can do.
You guys have done a good job like stymieing some of my really fun lines of play because Burly Enforcer, that one turn that you clash buffed Clarity, what I was going to do was swing for 5, restand, swing, plan to do another 5, send his Clarity, then swing with the others. Like, it was going to be a little nasty play. But
You don't happen to have another clash buff, do you?
I mean, I played 3. Garrett.
That's why I was wondering.
pull your weight.
I gave you all my
your weight.
goods.
Well,
gotta
look
get
at all
it.
the stuff. I could do some cool stuff, but now I'm getting to the point.
Garrett reminds me of our buddy Brady when we used to play back in the day, and he used to run a wall deck. And we were teams with him. He would just
would
be like,
never
"I'm doing
die."
my job. I'm protecting my health." So don't be a wall.
So
No, I don't.
here's
I'm 3 out of 4.
Yeah, you're
deep.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
So I could play one of these, swing, kill, and then.
But they're gonna keep coming.
But that's not going to help. So I could
Bias?
take a chance, play, draw, see if I get anything.
I think
play.
it's play, and then save.
Yeah, and I could equip, make him bigger,
And you'll
and it just depends on what that is.
restand.
Well, you could swing this at it.
And remember, you'll
see
get
what
2
that
resources back,
Just-
whereas the focus
just-
token.
Yeah,
and
just
then you can
sack
start
it,
going.
and then I lose my only defender, but
Doesn't
that's
matter.
okay.
Health's a
Haven,
resource.
yeah, that's right. Haven
Yes.
hiding in plain sight. I'm gonna draw a card.
Hold on.
You might need that health.
This is that fancy promo.
Haven.
That's a special version, but
Hiding
it
in
looks.
plain
It's
sight.
a purple. We call those
Yeah, it's got a different foiling.
yeah
You
color.
wouldn't know unless you know.
If you know, you know.
I remember at one point someone played one. I was like, that looks a little different. and I
That
picked
your
it
energy
up.
explosion is actually different too. The real one's red, and that one's like black and red.
This.
Yeah, that's the same as this. It's
I
the alt
see.
color.
It's like a
Champion.
Kickstarter, just like.
So I do have
Fancy
this,
thing.
which if I happen to save an extra thing, then I could engage one of his things by engaging one of mine in case he puts
Yeah.
a big body into
Okay,
play.
I like that. Well, send here and see what we get.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Although if
first,
that's
so.
in play, can you get rid of that when it happens?
No, it'd be a counter play, so he
Okay.
would have to play a thing.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna swing. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So leading, it's a 2/3.
Gravecaller
It's
saying,
Dauntless.
sorry if I
Fire.
missed this, but it was one boss and deck in this kit, right? Do you mind if I read the contents on the
Yeah,
back?
yeah, go ahead.
So you're
So-
gonna kill me.
It comes with 2, and this is not final, but close to final.
It's
two,
pretty,
2 oversized double-sided boss cards.
Grung is not in play yet.
If you want to hold it out here, they can see it on
Yeah.
the top. There you go. Oh, that also.
There you go.
So there's 2 of those. One's Krung and one's the portal. There's a 50-card boss deck, which is the cards with the 1/1 on the back you've been playing.
Yes.
That's in your hand.
Yep.
That's it, yeah. There's a 34-card minion deck as this that we've been pulling
Yes.
from.
Yep. That's what the minion.
There's a 20 card event deck, which is this up here. Those things that happen there crazy. There's 4 focus tokens, 5 spoils of the forgotten packs. So you beat the campaign, you get to open a pack. Comes with cards that are very good in this particular environment, but also constructed legal, and then also a rule book. And someone was asking earlier if there was any comic integration into this, like there would be a little comic in this or something.
Yes. So there are 3 comic book pages that we put into the rule book that kind of just
Tell the
take you
story
into
of
the
this.
Yeah.
And this story is kind of in the novel to a certain degree.
to
So
a
it takes
degree.
you into that, and then it's like,
Yeah. And I don't know if you have any. I might have sent one, but I can't remember of the comic book. But it's cool. It was done by Kyle Petchuk, who did Torque Therapy. So yeah, it's fun.
I don't know that we have that one.
Yeah. I can't remember what I.
Yeah. You probably have other stuff. But
Yeah.
So-
I think they were careful not to load in.
Yeah. Load in all the spoilers.
But be careful,
Yeah.
Kaufman. Don't do anything.
So I can actually do something cool. I could kill all 3 of his.
Is that your foot?
Yeah.
you're
It's
totally-
fine.
I just
Didn't want to kick something.
yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is
Yeah.
there equipment over there or something?
So I can play Conquest the Undefeated. The nice thing is he has no resources, nothing there. I can give my man a gun, equip him.
Conquest.
He's now at 3-4,
Yeah.
and
So
I
+1.
can take him out one at a time.
So you start with the weakest of
So
the
start
things,
with
right?
the 3-2. Unless he has anything he can play for free.
hope
Nope.
not.
And you took away my ambush card.
Yep.
So
Yep. Did that. So
then victory
now
+1
he's-
ready.
Yep.
Rinse, repeat, call it complete. Boom, boom,
now-
and you end standing.
And I am standing, and I could crack the portal.
Because
You're
you're
swing
at
here.
+1, +3. So you're at +4. So you could swing
Yeah.
at 6 at the portal.
Yep.
take 5
then
damage.
you're
Kind
down.
of open.
Yep. And then I'm open. I'll be the
the
target,
recipient.
but I have
I
health.
think you just swing. For
I do
6.
too. I think
Yeah.
we got to try to do
Okay,
5
so I'm
damage
at
to him.
16. Now I'm at 10.
Yeah, because we need to get rid of this portal before
Yeah.
Chrome shows up.
Yeah, and he's
2
gonna
turns
hit. He's
away.
gonna hit 6 on his turn. Right now.
Because we're done. Right.
Yeah.
So then when we're done, this switches.
Yeah. And I didn't even get to do my thing because the first time I equip a weapon, I can restand something, but it didn't
It doesn't do. Yeah,
didn't
the
benefit
sequence
me.
isn't-
The sequence didn't help.
So then you get a ready 2 resources.
So
or
at the
I
end
do.
of your turn, you readied 2 resources.
Alright.
Everybody saw it. You did it.
Everyone's hot. I definitely
Top
did
card
that.
goes into play. I get my 2 cards for
Now
turn.
I'm the focus.
So we need to do 10 damage next time.
Do my
need that would help.
6.
Yeah.
I get my
It's not even about help. It just has
Yes,
to
it
happen.
has to happen. And it's all going to be about.
event comes into play.
Fortunately, we cleared this, so he's going to get out a couple more, and then it's all about what the events.
If the boss controls less minions than the total number of clash cards amongst all opponents, put
Not
the top
true.
2 cards of the minion deck into play.
You don't.
I don't.
You have a.
This is Relentless Hordes.
You control
Say,
exactly the same number.
If the events could have played out in the worst way possible for the boss, it's happened so far.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That
I have
happens.
lost on turn 3 before, so the fact that we're already on 6 and we're doing
Now,
okay.
again, what do you think is the key difference between those losses and this game?
Probably
here?
help, I would assume.
Very
'Cause
like
I tried it by
He just needed a
myself.
punching bag.
smart.
I need somebody to take
someone to take,
someone to
25
take your
for
damage
him.
so I can actually do something.
Yeah. Well, Zach, let me do my thing.
It's working.
You're fine getting attacked the whole time, right?
And
Yeah,
then the second ability, at the start of each opponent's turn, if the boss controls less minions than the total number of clash cards, then I get to put the top cards of the minion deck into play.
So like if I go clear your board, his turn starts. You get to do that
Yep.
because it's
Yep.
yeah okay
Yep, exactly.
okay.
All right, so now it's
I like
my
that he has
turn.
5 resources up.
Yeah, I got a couple of cool little things I could do. And check my Oblivion
I'm still holding
for
both
no
of those
reason.
whenever I can not spend all my resources.
Yeah. Well, it's just next turn
go.
Yeah, exactly.
because you're that.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you have
gonna
that
be there
again
and
the
there.
next turn.
Yep.
Yeah. If I don't die, if I'm not
I
defeated,
mean,
I'm,
those are my next 2 turns, right? I mean, that's
I'm flying
and
high
said
on this
that.
soon.
And
yeah. I would love to have him out.
well,
We'll get there
yeah.
if I'm alive.
You're going to be very.
I know.
Oh,
We're on a line
Darn.
here.
We
Garrett.
are on a time clock.
There's
I
a
just
thin
need
blue
a
line.
few more resources to do some things I want.
I will give you a bonus resource if you give me a bonus resource.
House rules.
He's thinking about
He's thinking about it. He's like, how many of these can I play
I mean,
with
PvE,
one more
you can do whatever you
resources?
want. That's the
Okay.
one thing I love about. I play a lot of cooperative card games, and I can't think of one that I played where you get to be the boss.
That was big. That was really important to us.
Yeah,
That you could
That's
actually
really
do
cool.
So I'll swing for 2 at the focus
me?
token contender.
Miranda coming in here with some hot questions. So Miranda's saying, will the treasure packs all be the same no matter how much of the product you buy, or is it random? Also, will you be able to purchase the treasure packs separately once you run out of packs to open?
Yeah, packs will be randomized. So you'd always get 5 different packs with different makeup.
How many cards are in those packs? Asking for a
5,
friend.
5 cards per pack.
cards per pack.
So PvE box, 5 packs of 5 cards. They're random. So you get 25 total cards.
Yep.
And
after
there's
it's all done.
maybe a regular version. There's special versions. There's
It is
things
loot.
you can find.
The spoils of,
The
of
spoils.
war after
It
all.
is the spoils of the forgotten.
And then you also said yes, you're going to make the packs available outside of the box. So people want more loot packs to play more times,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
if people don't want to have to buy the PvE to get those cards necessarily, or if you're going to a tournament or something, you want specific cards, maybe you'll buy more of those packs.
That's right.
Or maybe if you go to an event, you'll be there and there might be
might
packs getting
be
passed
packs.
out.
Exactly.
That are happening.
And honestly, the cards, we can't wait to show them off because they're really cool. Like, they're fun. The art's amazing.
They hit
like,
the mark
they're
for what
special.
we're doing.
We wanted to make them
They're
feel
good.
like treasures that you're
Yeah.
getting
Cool.
and loot. So 2 going at contender.
Okay, nothing.
Okay. No response from me.
in games of this, that like, you have any Clash Buffs moments?
Yeah.
And then they're like, nope. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't get to do all the fun things. I do some of the fun things. So,
I told you, I'd give you
Draconic Assault, it's irrefutable, so you can't respond to it. Search the minion deck or Oblivion for Rizlak.
it'd be funny if that wasn't a keyword. You're
I
just
know.
saying
Yeah,
that.
it's irrefutable. You can't.
So let's just get this on the table. This is a dragon,
He does look like a dragon.
He is a dragon.
which we've seen a little taste of it in the box.
He's
shop
at
with
least
the
a
last
winged
set.
creature of terror of some kind of
specifically,
discarded. He
I mean,
does
he's
look
draconic.
dragon-esque.
He's dragon-esque, but
Is this Rizlak no modifier?
Correct, just Rizlak.
just Rizlak.
The other one, yeah.
Okay.
Just the
Picture it
Rizlak.
saying just Rizlak. Look at old Riz. Trigger enter, put a reinforcer in the event Oblivion on the top of your event deck, so we know there's a reinforcer over here, over there. As long as the boss
that's the
controls an
next
event, whenever an opponent defeats one of your, or sends an Oblivion to minion, that player discards a card. Ooh, that's a bummer.
I don't like discard.
Yeah, the discarded. So I'm a little disappointed we haven't been discarding more throughout this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, how much health you got? You got 8 damage.
Yeah, so I'm at 17.
Mercury Gaming, welcome. Saying sorry I'm late, but how goes the PvE? Well, good so far, but
Depends
I'm about
who you
dead.
are.
Yeah, the player's about out.
So, because Flair's in play, and I know that, taking 3 direct damage, if I leave him standing, it doesn't really do me any good. I didn't have a Morak in play, which is a bummer for me.
I
But
don't mind.
it's all right, because then I get
don't
another
mind.
cool thing. But
Are
5
you
going
attacking with the
contender.
Rizlak?
He's attacking me for 5.
And he has to attack you.
Has to attack me.
Thankfully.
Always
Yeah.
goes focus. And remember, I can't attack clash cards, so I get one option.
Yeah, you can't get rid of his conquest.
I'm taking my conquest counter for now. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need that card.
You're good? I'm
Yep.
taking another 5.
Okay. And then
So I unlock my second ability.
I'm going to pass turn.
15. So now my contender gets trigger attack. This contender gets +0/+1 until end of turn, and I draw a card. So I would take some damage unless I buffed it. But okay, so now it's me. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see if we can do a thing. Well, thinking at this point I might as well resource this because I can't seem to get more than
Yeah.
one clash card.
It's going to be a minute before you
Yeah. So I will pay 5 and play a Lin Adaptable Fighter.
Okay.
An oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but goodie. That's a set 1. That's a Kickstarter set 1.
Yeah, 5/5 flight. Doesn't get simpler than that.
Yeah. Just 5/5 with that in the air. And then. Just
So
thinking
remember,
of-
we need to do 10 this turn.
Yep.
He has no blockers, but this is going to block the first thing.
Right.
So do you have someone...
So I'm thinking the only reason I say that is I could go here because I'm going to take some, but I'll have 1 defense. The biggest thing he would have is 5. I could take 4 to the face, but then
Whoops, I have
I'm
two
going to know what's there, and I can
two
start
standing.
Yeah.
going through. I think that's the best way to do it, is just take some damage.
right.
Sounds crazy. So
Okay, first.
1/1 draw a card.
So Dauntless Defier ambushed the attack. And remember, for you guys and everyone watching, the order of this does matter sometimes, and especially if you're playing by yourself. Because the leading one is
Oh,
always
yeah,
like
that.
your first of your attack. So whenever I put in a new one, it always goes to the end
over
of the
to the
line.
right. Cool.
Yep.
Drawing a card is not as helpful right now. So I'm only going to take
What is that
one. That's just the
Yeah, that would have been
special
helpful.
version.
One
Yeah,
card
one
earlier.
card earlier. So I'll take. I'm not going to clash buff. Are you going to clash buff?
No,
You're
no,
a 2/3,
no, no.
so I'm only taking 1 damage there. And now
Clear the board.
I have a 3/4.
It'll be a 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Which is a good number to be doing.
Yeah. And it would
So you have to
die
go
on the
Dauntless
third one.
first, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
It could die or it could die.
that's what yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah. Well, by the time they're both going to do the same damage, so it's which one do I want to keep out? This would save me a resource to reattach it to something else. So
He's pretty insane in this.
that's yeah. So I'll go a 3/3 or 3/4, excuse me, at your 2/3.
He does have 2 resources.
No counter for me.
You got any
Okay.
buffs?
Yeah, might as well, huh?
What's? Hold on.
Only thing is, I gain health, get a +1/+1, and I draw a card.
So you would go to a
3/4 to a
3/5.
4/5.
You think that'll save you from dying if he has a buff of some kind right here? Because if you die on this first thing, it's going to be really bad for him.
Right.
See him? He looks fishy.
Oh, I have no plans.
Yeah, I might as well not buff the first one because I can kill it without it, and the +1/+1 is probably not going to save me from anything he would play.
The +1/+1 is not going to save you. I
Right.
wouldn't play it yet.
All right, so 3/4.
I will buff. I'm going to give Savage Force. Are you attacking this one or this one? Yeah.
Let's do the one you targeted. What's here?
Okay.
Well,
All right. So, target minion you control gets +1/+1 and necrotic. Oh, I draw a card.
Oops.
And that minion gets brutal X, where X is equal to the number of opponents. Doesn't matter on this one. And the portal is open, so the player with the focus discards a card, and it's called Savage Force.
That's me.
Yeah, you
I
discard a
discard a card, so feels weird discarding that.
The
in
Horde
any
doesn't play
game,
by
but
the rules. They play dirty.
Might discard this one.
It makes sense to me.
Okay. So I do still have a line of play here, so I'm gonna kill it. But
Yep.
I've got necrotic, or yeah.
Yeah, and then trigger defeat. The player with the most non-token accessories sends an accessory they control to oblivion.
So I do that now.
Yes.
Well, that screws my play. Because if I swing and attach, it would ready, and then I could have swung with that twice.
That would have been cool.
And remember, you have to go here.
So now I
because
have
of
no
the
way to ready her.
Dauntless.
That's a bummer.
That was going to be my
Strictly.
backup plan, double swing.
Mm-hmm.
So now remember, at the start of his next turn, you're going to be the focus. So I'm playing, then you're going to play, then he's going to be attacking you, and if I'm engaged, I can't.
They're exhausted. Do we have to attack them first?
This one has daunting.
So,
So
have to
he
attack
has
that
to
one.
be. He has to be the first attack.
So I could kill it, but then that doesn't help because then I can't. I need to have this up on his turn to
block.
save you.
I mean, if we can even save
If
me.
we can do that. So at this point, I'm thinking I should play that
Mm-hmm.
and draw a card and have another body.
Or, even better, you can target me with this and become
Right.
the focus. You become the focus.
That is
So
better.
everything's
Yeah.
coming at you.
Yeah. So I could swing with this,
Go ahead and clear
kill
something.
a thing,
And then force him to come
and
at
then
you.
force him to come back at me. Let's do
But-
that. That makes sense to me.
You,
Because we need to get rid of some of this horde.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you also only have 11 left.
Yeah.
So just, I don't know what that math is on how many attacks he's going to come at you, but you're not that much further from being defeated than I am. So, you know.
The problem is, here's the
There are a lot
tricky
of
part. We are
problems,
in the
yeah.
game because when it gets back to his turn, Krung's out. So extra damage is coming our
What
way.
could possibly go wrong?
The good thing is there's really nothing in the ambush zone. When Krung comes into play, all ambush zone comes out. So I don't get that extra perk Because you
Here's-
guys have done
yeah.
a good job sequencing attacks to draw them out.
Yeah, here's the rub with our decks right now. Obviously, we're in a tight spot. Our health is getting low. If we don't clear out the minions, we're getting, we're not going to block them all anyway. But I think I should save it. I can buff you. I can become the thing, and then I can block with it. And that should hopefully get us an extra turn. So
attack.
I'm going to pass to Zach.
Top card comes in. I'll check it. Okay.
Okay, I drew this. This is the thing. I also have this. So my thinking is resource this and play this, technically, so that I have a blocker. And then come what Krung.
Yep.
Play resource. I'll play 6-cost Flare, Explosive Combatant. And then I'll pass.
Okay.
So
As much as I hate that.
I get 2 resources back. That passes.
Oh, you should have played the 1-cost because you get 2 resources back.
Yeah.
But we're back. We did
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, go back.
We played this 1-cost Christmas tree.
Got your draw.
This is technical name Haven Resourceful Helper. Perfect. Oh, yeah.
That's what I drew. So we'll.
Yeah. You can just you can be the Santa Claus in our story here, giving gifts all around town.
All right, so ready to everything.
I don't
Top
think Ridge
card
has a chance.
and
I
lead.
don't even know what Krung does.
Yeah.
Event comes to resource zone. Set the event in. I got another guard. All right, flanking the enemy is the new event. So reinforcer came in. What we
Can
did
we
is
just
move
have
that
like
quick.
nothing out? We got chromatic.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, so flanking the enemy. When a minion enters play from the ambush zone during a clash, it deals non-clash damage to the attacking opponent's contender equal to its initial attack power.
Hold on. What card is doing this?
Flanking.
Can
the
I see
enemy. Yeah.
So that would be a good reason for us to have a clash buff or a clash ground to play. What's the
Yes,
cost
you
on
want
that in
to
the bottom right?
remove
3.
You want
I
to
have
remove
Grant
that.
Park Chicago in my deck, which costs 3, and I could get rid of it, but I don't have one
Yeah.
in my hand.
So far, you haven't really needed to remove an event. That one you want to get rid of.
Didn't you just hit 7?
I did. Sorry.
So Krung is
yeah,
in.
Krung is in now.
All right, show us the Krung
All
magic.
right, so Krung leader.
Merry Krungmas.
Okay. Remove that.
So that's Lord Krung.
Yeah,
the
so
boss.
at the end of the boss ready step, if he has 5 or more boss counters, I remove them all and flip them. Flip him,
Both
and he
him.
enrages. Yep, he enrages here.
So he's
His
got,
other side is meaner.
he's got 45 health.
He's got 45 health.
He's
Yep.
a 1/1.
He's a 1/1. Minions in play get +1/+1 and attack the contender with the focus. So all of them get +1/+1.
That's why you want to kill the portal early. 'Cause
At
that
the
way
start
you
of
can't
each
even-
opponent's turn, I'm adding a boss counter. So basically, every other turn cycle, he's going to enrage with this sequence. When he attacks, he gets +3/+0 and attacks the contender of the the person that holds the focus, and it prevents all clash damage coming back at him. If the portal's open, he can't be obstructed, and his health is reduced below 1. Or yeah, you can't.
You can't kill him until
Yeah,
you
his
kill
health
the portal.
can't be
Close
reduced.
the portal.
Yeah,
Okay.
We could technically start going at Krung and get him down to 1 health, but you can't kill
as
him
long as
until
this
you
is open,
Get rid of the
you
portal.
gotta.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And this is Lord Krung.
This
That's
is Lord Krung.
Krung. Now we're in absolute survival mode.
Should be the big
This
Lord
is-
Krung you're looking for him, John.
Yeah.
Like the
The boss.
he's just a big fatty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's him. Okay. I have a lot of options.
Don't love that.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I got a lot of options.
I feel like I want some ramp.
Good news is when he attacks you,
go
I play this, it'll
two.
move, and then I can actually.
Two at
Play one back.
focus contender.
At me. Now he's attacking me, so I will block here.
Okay.
You have any clash buffs?
No.
Do we have any clash buffs?
We don't need to right now. Well, let him swing with the. Well, what are you at for health wise?
5.
So
This is for 2?
Yeah, that's
I could
only
also
2.
take this too.
that's what I was saying. If we take that one, then
All
we
right,
can do
take
it
2.
on the next.
No block. You got any clash buffs?
No.
Okay, take 2. Down to 3. What could go wrong?
Then go. Well, sorry, that was 3 because I got +1/+1. So swing 4/3.
Now I can't. I'll block.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You block.
Block? You got any clash buffs?
Yep.
No.
I'm gonna clash buff his contender,
So this will move.
and I'm going to get to gain 3 health and draw.
It says that target contender gains 3 health.
Let's.
So I gain 3, which is good.
Yeah, let's have you do that. Where was I at 4? Sorry. Card. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And now you gotta come deal with me.
Okay.
He sounded scared.
He wanted to kill me. You could see it.
Hey,
Yeah, I was like, all right, 5.
5 at me.
Yeah.
Ian asking, does solo mode have a hand for the boss?
No, there's no boss deck.
boss deck
and there's
doesn't
no
exist.
hand. So that's another layer of difficulty that's kind of removed from it.
Yeah, so you get the choice of what to play, but you also get the idea that you're playing those cards in the first place.
Yeah, so that whole boss deck he's playing when you play autopilot doesn't
just gone.
exist. It's just minions, events,
Minions events.
minions
Cool.
events coming out. So
Going at you for 6 because of my +1/+1.
yeah, it doesn't have breakthrough though.
Not currently. It's just a haven.
Yeah, it's just a 5.
No, yeah, his 5/3. So I'm thinking,
It's a moment for haven.
yeah, she's just helping out, resourceful helper.
She is very resourceful.
Seems like to be the one to block with this.
Yeah, definitely. It's his biggest number.
Okay.
Okay.
No, nothing.
How does one get the Christmas card?
That was a original 2022 Kickstarter Christmas special.
Before you launch the Kickstarter or during the Kickstarter?
During the Kickstarter
Kickstarter,
for
so it was
Christmas,
about that
it was
time.
it has a Christmas 22 stamp on it. It was a alternate art that people could get during the Kickstarter, and those are pretty
Not easy
not a
to
lot
find,
out
yeah.
anymore. From as you'd imagine, it was a thing in 2022 on the original Kickstarter that you had to pick up as a separate thing that was only up for like a week during Christmas. And
Yeah, it's not common.
yeah. There is a matching playmat and matching card sleeves, which
I have
are
seen those. Even less common.
less common.
I'm going
I
to
still have,
play
that's
Veiled Sabotage.
which does.
All right, search the minion Oblivion for Trug. And put it
Old
into play.
Trug.
Problem is, at the end, if I play that, it's going to go back to you, which means you'll get to go first, as long as you're alive. And then you'll go, and then I'll go after. Don't worry about what we're doing.
No, I was going to tell you what's happening. When he comes into play, a Reinforcer leaves play.
Okay.
Trug.
Okay.
Gravecrawler saying our play was a cool tag team moment.
Yeah.
And if Rizlak is in play, then each opponent sends a resource they control to Oblivion. If that resource was a color of their contender, they also discard a card.
So we will lose a resource and a
Lose a
card.
resource and a card.
Okay.
Yikes.
It's not cool, Ridge. What did I do to you?
You invited me here.
Yeah, you asked for this.
Yeah. Swing for 2. It's a necrotic.
2 necrotic at
2
me.
necrotic.
You're gonna be taking
That
that one.
one's some taken.
Yeah.
Then 3.
There you go.
And again, as a
plus
boss
a
player,
1.
it doesn't really do me any good to sit back because I can't block unless you don't want them to be attacked. So, 4 at contender.
Gotta go there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And these are the guys we have to attack first.
Yes, the daunting. All right. And then
We're getting our teeth kicked in.
I'll
here.
swing with
But it should
Krung.
feel this way.
And now he is a 4/1, but because the portal's open, he can't be blocked. So 4/1 going at contender.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'll make myself a 2/1,
So you'll
and
take
I will
2.
gain 3 health.
This will come back to me. But he's still attacking you
Yep.
currently.
So I'm going to take 2.
Okay. I take no damage because he can't be dealt damage on the crackback.
Gravecrawler's asking, I really want to brew a deck for this. Will the card list be available for this on somewhere like Deck Planet?
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yep. As soon as we release it, we'll make sure that it's all out there so you understand what.
If any of you
All
guys
the
haven't
cards
used
do.
Deck Planet too, like the
solid.
Mr. Frick that we see out there, like the guy just built a site and is like, we
Beast.
have an OP site and there's a card database and it's great. Like people use the OP site for events and stuff, but the guy just did a phenomenal job with Deck Planet.
Shout out to Deck Planet. It's been super useful for our testing and whatnot. 2 thumbs up.
Very reactive and proactive. Like he's doing
say
things
fast.
nobody's asked for and he's fast.
So it's over to us. I'm the
Yep.
because it passed to
Yeah,
me.
and I didn't get to ready any
Draw a
resources because I passed, but I do still have one standing if we need it.
And I can't play this because it's this number.
Yep.
Otherwise, I could potentially think about playing it. But
Yeah.
man, I'm never gonna. We'll just
Might as
play
well
this
resource
thing.
it at this point. For
Resource.
Next turn.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and here comes the boom
Boom!
and get a Nova token.
You get
and
one. Only one.
Do a damage to. Is it good to get rid of the portal?
Well, either way,
Oh, this is
yes,
by the way.
but
If I swing at it, it gets the defense
it's
back.
gonna get yes, and you're gonna end up hitting this
Okay.
first year. But when you attack, you are gonna do.
Okay.
It's got a trigger attack,
here's
which you
the
do
thing.
too. But he's
You have
Yeah.
one open, right?
yep.
So if I swing, because I want to swing with flare in case
Yep.
it's necrotic. I want to swing with this flare.
Yep.
And if it's bad, because I have 5 left, I'll need that.
Yep.
So I'm going to attack your portal with flare.
Okay. This card gets ambushed. This is Creature of the Collective. And when this card is sent to an Oblivion by an opponent's card effect, that opponent sends a non-token card, so that won't happen. If I control an elite, which I do, he gets +X equals
'Cause Krung
to
is
a
an
number
elite.
of different ones. So he's a 3/3 right now. Yep, Krung is the
3/3.
elite.
I say I just take this damage. Don't waste that card on me. So I'll take 3.
And when a minion enters play from the ambush zone, it deals non-clash damage to the attacking opponent's contender equal to its initial attack power. So 2. You
So
would take
But he
another
hasn't.
2.
He hasn't
It was
attacked.
ambushed. No, it was.
Oh yeah,
Because it was
but,
ambushed.
so I'll take 2, and now I need your
You need it.
yeah, because I'll die if not.
Yep.
So you play that. I heal 3.
Yep.
This
Which card
moves.
is that?
Triumphant revitalization.
That moves to you. Now I have 1 defense.
Draw a card.
So I'll take 2 damage because you're
Yep. I'm a
technically doing 3.
So you're alive.
I'm alive. Right?
Yeah.
+1 from
I
something.
get +1/+1 also, so he's
Yeah.
a 4/4. So you just take
4.
1 more damage
Okay.
on that.
And you're not dead
Oh, I'm not dead yet. You're right.
because what's your health at?
4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then now you're out of tricks. I mean, you have 2 resources, maybe not
2
out of tricks. So
resources.
here's
You can't get necrotic.
No, I won't be able to do anything necrotic.
yeah. And does this go away from my boom?
No.
No.
So
Wasn't boom?
all
oh,
class
yeah.
cards.
Yeah, sorry. You did 5. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I did
boomed.
5. Yeah. Yep. It's a 4 cost. 5
Yeah.
damage.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it makes sense for me to attack the portal.
I
for
think so
6.
too,
Okay.
because
Attack
we can get him down to
portal for
4.
6.
If I can play something and get through to it, I'm gonna have to play 2 things to get through.
Okay. No
But at least
response.
we'll put up
Yeah.
a fight. No clash buff.
Okay. So I'm down to 5.
Yeah, 1 defense.
So I got 1 defense.
And then I'll pass.
Oh boy. I'm like, why
Ambush.
do I only have 5 resources? Because somebody.
And one thing that we did
Good
for the
time to draw
final
that.
version is the card backs, although we changed the color of them, all the colors were like similar when we printed. So we really changed it. And then we also put like boss deck, event deck. So like you don't
It's like
mix up
clear,
your, yeah.
basically. Where is it at? Gravecrawler saying, wanted to thank the Alpclash guys for my spoiler from the last set. It means a lot. Also saying that the Deck Planet site is awesome. And Corlash saying, or just one pack saying, imagine being given tools to build better boss decks, taking it to game night and have the others in the playgroup make contender decks 1 versus all. Are you gonna be able to customize the boss deck at all?
With the first iteration, you technically could, like if you wanted to take cards out or something. As we would release more,
Perhaps.
then you could potentially.
Let me just put that on the idea list.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
In the idea
Thinking
list.
at this point, even though this is a draw, or I might have to resource now so that I can have both available, and then next turn we'll just see what
Yeah, I'm into that.
I get. So
I think we're in a bad spot.
yeah, we're in a bad spot.
But we can at least get this portal out of here.
I hope. gonna play Lynn, Adaptable
We're just too
Fighter.
confident. I don't like what's going
Yeah.
on.
All right. Which is funny, I've never seen that again since I resourced it on turn 1. All right, so if I swing for 5,
Gets ambushed.
it gets ambushed. Could probably kill a thing, probably, but I could lose my guy.
You know what I got?
I'm half tempted to not swing so that I can stop an attack.
Also,
It's only going to be
when
if
you
I buff
swing,
myself, it'll move over to you.
remember, because of the event,
Yeah,
you'll also lose health
right.
if you get ambushed.
Yeah, which I'm at, what, 9?
You'll have 2 resources
No,
open.
I'm at 11. But I'll get to open 2 resources at the end.
Yeah, I think you can wait. But if I die before that portal goes away, I'm gonna be
Right.
sad.
Well,
This is helping me not die. I get it.
yeah.
All right.
He's going to be able to come at me with Krung and at least 2 minions.
Won't that actually switch to me?
At sort of his turn, it'll switch to you, but if
That's
I
why
play
we need
this,
that.
it'll
Yeah,
switch to
okay.
me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
End of turn, so you get the 2 resources.
I get
Oh
the
man,
2
I left 2
resources.
resources standing for nothing.
This is
Yep.
over to me.
All right, so now Krung.
I pass. I get my resources.
So Krung got a boss counter for each of yours and
Yep.
at the start. So I'm at 3 boss counters on Krung. Okay, I'm going to draw 2. Top card. Leading card. So Dauntless Defier and Scaled Lurker. Not bad.
And Krung is giving all your guys +1/+1.
+1/+1. Event drops to my resource zone. And then we'll go here. So the event that came up is that's a lot of appendages.
That's a lot of appendages.
After an attack is declared by a minion, at the end of their clash, ready it. Minions ready this way can't attack again.
So the attack, stand, stay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Feeling great. Feeling great. And Krung still has 45 health, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
50 damage is next
50
turn. We're gonna
damage
hit.
next turn. We're
55
gonna
total
clean
damage.
this
You can
thing
do
up.
this.
Easy peasy.
You can do this.
Not even worried.
Shouldn't be. Should be all right. Let's swing for. I don't control. I do control an elite. He gets +X/+X. So creature of the collective. So he'll get +3/+3 plus has +1/+1.
So he's a 6.
He's a 6/6.
All right, you don't play that card.
So, yes, now
Oh, I'm gonna die.
I'm
You have to
gonna
block.
have to block and play it.
Yeah, like a boss.
Yep. So
So you're blocking there. Okay, you have any clash buffs?
No.
Then you're gonna play yours.
and I'll play mine on his contender.
So I'll get +1/+1 on flare, heal 3. Then this will switch. But you're still
My
attacking me, but
5/5
you're blocking
against
there.
their 6/6.
Yep.
Anything? Nothing.
Nope.
I'm out.
And then he restands, but he can't attack again.
Yep.
Okay.
And now Garrett's the guy.
Now I'm the man.
So now attacking for 3.
Okay. No.
There you go.
I got nothing.
Okay. So
Oh, you just have
taking
one.
I got 1. 1 plus the 2.
So you've got 8 health left.
Yep.
Okay. And that one isn't ready?
It will ready. Can't
It just
attack.
can't attack again.
That's a 4.
Can't be dealt non-clash damage because the portal's open. Scaled Lurker will do the attack. This card gets +X/+O, where X equals to the number of opponents. So he's a
3
4/2
plus
right
now
now.
4. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm taking 4. Are
Yeah.
you doing anything?
Nope.
Okay. So I
Pay
need 1 more damage
4.
over here.
Oh, there
I
you go.
believe.
So you're down
If I
to
did my
4.
math right, yeah, I should be at 4.
Put out Pavement Tyrant. So during your opponent's turn, when an effect you don't control would trigger, you may ready this card. If you do, negate that trigger effect. It's like a negate trigger effect. And
Who'd have guessed I would die first after all
I
that?
get, I get incentivized. I'll swing for 5.
Okay, buffs over there, do you? I'm just kidding.
Hold on. You want to take a bathroom break real
Check.
quick? We'll
Yeah.
just come back in
We'll
never.
be back in a couple minutes. That would be the end of
So
me.
you take damage. What
End of
happens
Chow
when you take
Lang.
lethal?
I die,
The focus token
and
moves.
the focus shifts.
Okay.
So I'm
And
dead.
then all this goes away.
How much health do you have?
6.
Krung swings for 4. And then that's turn.
Okay.
You did it.
We survived. We're not thriving. We're surviving.
They're ready.
Who knew all this time I'd be rooting
So now,
you on?
because of this event, this guy, Pavement Tyrant, has a unique effect that he could stop a trigger, but he has to be engaged. So in that way, your trigger
We
will
saved
help.
from.
Okay. Sad.
Well, at least you can. We're gonna get so close.
You got to kill the portal.
Okay. Well, they're all +1/+1.
He's at
That's the problem.
But
But
boss
And
He's-
this has to be attacked first, hypothetically.
it has to be attacked
this will block first. Then this will be your
second,
target.
and then the other three won't block. So
Okay. I'm gonna play Machina.
oh, nice.
This is Machina Unstoppable for us.
Yep.
Now, what people may not know is that his physique was actually modeled after me.
it's true.
No doubt.
Yep.
Yeah. I always wear a lot of layers, so people can't tell it's me in this card.
Don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So Machina will attack, and then it's going to be intercepted. But he has a barrage too. When he attacks, I can deal damage equal to its initial attack power, divided as I choose among up to 2 target clash cards.
Yep.
So your things are +1/+1.
They get +1/+1. He right now, because I have an elite, you don't want to target him because he's a 6/6.
Yeah, we won't. I definitely want to get rid of this
Yeah.
thing.
So those
Yep.
middle two things is what you're going to be able to get rid of.
4 and 2. But then when this goes away, I'll trigger Flare and do a third one there.
Okay. Yep. So ping ping.
And now the 6/6 is going against whatever pops up. Necrotic.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So
Well, they trade.
well, I have no
So a
buffs.
trade.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
trade.
Well, you took out 3 things. Necrotic.
Necrotic fodder popped up. Now, that is literally the most unfortunate ambushed one
Yeah.
that you can get.
Good news is you're going to kill the portal.
That's right. That's the goal. That was the victory condition.
It's victory.
So then I'll attack the portal with Flare.
Okay.
2 damage to everything you control.
Yep.
And then I'm.
I don't have any responses, so portal
so-
gets defeated.
All right. What does that mean for us?
All right. So
Means a high five.
that was
moral as it may be.
So when the
That's
portal
the
gets
consolation
defeated, you
prize.
flip this. While the portal is open, minion cards in play can only have their attack and defense reduced by target effect. So it keeps the same first line. You still do your start of turn procedure, but now at the start of the boss turn, any opponent may engage a resource for each opponent of the boss. If they do, the portal is closed, right? So when the portal's closed, then Krung can be obstructed.
Gotcha.
Yep,
So
and he
basically,
can be
it's
defeated.
attacks. You can pay 2 resources. And now the team, our team,
Yeah.
can now technically win the game and defeat Krung.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So then, end of my turn. I'm staying the focus. I ready 2 resources.
And what's also great is if the portal is closed, you're not going to be ambushed on your first attack. But if it's open, you're going to continue to be ambushed.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay. That's thematic and interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
then I'm passing to you.
All right, so then. Okay.
All right, here we go. Good luck.
All right.
At least you have 2 resources to not spend.
Top card,
Yeah, on all these cards I can't play.
boss counter. So Krung enrages.
See what kind of.
Here we
rage-
go. And we got to see the
Oh,
enraged
Krung enraged.
Krung. Lord Krung
Krung.
enraged.
I was gonna say we're gonna learn a lot about Ridge in terms of how he decides to kill me. But I feel like it's just.
Can you go
Krung.
negative?
Who do we want to do this?
It feels like I can go negative.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us. We made it longer
We
than I
made
thought
it
we
a
would.
lot better
So,
than
Yeah.
audience, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards in hand.
brag much.
Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, coming on 8 resources. So my options, as the game goes on, you get more and more dangerous for a lot of reasons.
Obviously, he gets stronger the whole game as we get weaker, which is why you want to kill him sooner. So,
Yeah, the faster you kill the portal, it just kind of.
Yeah.
all right, now let's
Goes.
see. Can you kill Zach?
So then, new event comes out. This is what backup. All right, so opponents can't draw cards outside of
You
the
don't have
draw
much backup.
step during their turn.
That would have hurt us.
That would have been a
really.
bummer.
That would have been
Yeah.
bad for us.
I do feel like your event cards didn't play well for you.
Yeah, it was
And we still got
hard
slotted, so
sequence.
that's intense. Okay.
Okay. Doesn't help me right now. Doesn't help me right now.
So he's got a bunch of cards, but they don't do nothing.
Yeah, you should probably close the portal.
How do I do
No,
that?
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna
go
help.
ahead and
You can pay 2.
At the start of his turn.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Since you don't have
so
any. Your clash buffs don't cost anything, and that deck
I
doesn't have a lot of
basically, to
responses.
represent that, I just engage it
Okay.
to show that it's closed.
There's actually that's
There's
double-sided.
one on this side too.
Yep. And then so now the focus token flips when the portal's closed.
Cool.
So there's a side
It also
B
did a
essentially
thing,
to it.
a new thing, something nobody's seen.
Yeah, and you can read that.
So now
too.
you can.
At the start of the boss turn, give focus to the player to your right and flip this card. The focus can't be given to another player through the effects.
So he can't make the focus pass right now, and you can obstruct her.
So the focus stays
prong.
with me until I want to pass it?
So at that point, it would pass like normal
Yeah.
since you close. Like if we were both still
But
playing,
it wouldn't be like, hey, you played a clash buff. Now it switches.
he could have force passed it. Now it can't.
Gotcha.
And if you had another card to obstruct with, you could stop.
Yeah.
Krung.
Because there was one card I played earlier that was like, move the focus token to a person, do a thing.
yeah.
So that
Okay.
stops those two things.
So,
Okay.
you got any attacks?
How much health you at?
2 left.
So
Do
that
the
would
one
be,
first.
Yeah, exactly.
+1, +1 though.
Yeah, 6, 5.
You don't have to rub it in, Rich. Just who are you swinging with?
Just kill me.
Yeah, you put me out of my misery. We learned a lot. I said we would learn. Who does
Is
he
it
kill me
gonna be
with?
Krung? Yeah.
He
it's-
didn't
Actually,
even
let's-
swing with Krung.
yeah, let's
he
do
was
that.
going with his.
Yeah.
Let's just swing
He can't
with
even do
Krung.
me the honor of facing me in the
Yeah.
field of battle.
Okay, so Lord Krung enraged, trigger attack. He gets +5, +0, and attacks the contender of the opponent with the focus.
So he's an 8.
So he's an 8-0.
if he was unobstructable, that would be a problem.
Yes.
Yep,
I mean,
so
it's a problem now.
It's
anyway.
the 2 resource tax once you get later in the game
Yeah.
of paying the.
And then,
We lose.
Do you have any clash buffs?
no.
I will pass and die. Good game. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for playing. Oh man, that was really good. That was so thematic. I feel like we got very fortunate.
We could have. Yeah.
Do you
could've done
think?
worse?
So we're playing. It's a little harder because there's 2 players
Yep.
Yeah.
against the boss mode.
Which is normally a 3 to 4 player
Yeah. So
version.
what are the modes called again, real quick?
So we just call it classic. So that is just an autopilot version. 1 to 4 players can play in that. And then if you want to add the boss player, that's where the boss deck comes into play. And so does the person controlling the boss deck. And then there's heroic mode. So
when the
ignore
boss
red.
enters.
Yep, ignore red text. on
That's
all
the
cards.
boss. You want to be a hero? Fight the boss.
Become
You
a
don't have
hero.
to do all
Yeah.
the red text. Be a hero.
And then if you want to take it up to colossal mode and colossal encounter, then add the red text on all
And that's where Krung would gain breakthrough at this point, and like all that would have got an extra effect. That would have got an extra effect.
So in your mind, let's say it's 2 or 3 players on top tier mode. What did you say it was called again with the red text?
Colossal.
Colossal. So colossal mode. What optimized player decks, experienced players in the scenario, they have the cards from the spoils packs. What do you think? What's the win percentage at that level that you're hoping is what's happening?
Hope?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
still
Well, I would
happens, but
hope
it's
they
not
would
a
be
lot.
able to achieve it, but like when I think like I used to play World of Warcraft, when you would beat like a raid on the hard difficulty and all that for like the first time, it was a really big deal, and you had to figure out how to overcome the challenge. And if you were like the first on the server to do it, like it was a really big
notable
deal.
thing.
Yeah. And so we want it to be like, hey, scale and like beat it on its first difficulty and then its second, and then like if you could do that, like that's really, really good.
You have 4 really experienced players with optimal decks, and
Your deck building's going
had-
to change.
They had spoils packs, and they did the whole thing. Like they're going to have a decent chance, and it's still going to be really hard.
Yeah, probably like 20-30%.
Yeah.
Like if you started out and you're like, we're just gonna start on this crazy mode.
Yeah.
It's
be
like
hard.
1% chance.
Yeah.
And then if you start tweaking your decks 2, 3, 4, 5%,
Yep.
you start adding some cards.
Need him
10%.
to hit the right event. I draw the right
Yeah,
thing. We
yeah.
did
Okay,
it.
so
we
it's hard.
teamed up, and we played
supposed
it
to be
right.
hard.
It's
Yeah.
supposed
At
to
that
be
level.
hard,
Yeah.
at that level.
Go down 2 notches, same player count, not having a player playing the big bad.
Yeah.
Maybe you're looking at once you've
Better.
actually
Probably
played
more than
it,
half the
like
time.
50-60%.
Yeah.
First time you play it, you might lose.
First time you play, you'll probably lose because you're just like, oh, how do I handle this
To
problem?
beat it myself against autopilot took many. Just
Yeah, many
that
tries.
deck didn't.
Yeah,
I
so
still got beat. I
if
even
someone-
had to figure it out.
If someone bought this, they don't have anyone nearby to play Alpha Class.
Yep.
They're going to play solo. That's just where we're going to start. They're probably not going to win the first time, which
Probably
is good
not.
because you want
Yeah,
want
right.
them to be playing 3, 4, 5, 6 times
Yep.
before they beat it.
Yeah.
If you're playing solo, that is like the experience. So
Yep.
you got to make it worth.
I would say like 5 to
into.
10 times before you beat
To
it.
figure it out.
And also along the way, you're going to go, oh, I shouldn't use this. I should use this instead. I need a response to this thing. 'cause
Maybe I
is
need
a
this
problem.
card, or I want to play this contender.
Yeah.
try some different
Yeah,
stuff.
yep.
Gravecaller saying, I love that they want it to feel like a WoW raid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, like, I just go back to those days of just raiding your. I used to spend a lot of hours raiding, but it was just a good social time. You're having fun. You're figuring out puzzles, and everyone has a role. And like, hey, like, do your thing. You know,
That's
and
that's
we're
a
gonna get
key
through
to
it.
this.
It's a key to this.
Especially 2 to 4 players against either boss or not. If you can define your roles, and like I was supposed to be, when we made these decks, like you're a little more burn, stay alive, get your big stuff out, start knocking them down. I'm trying to keep us both alive, put out
Yeah.
some defense. That was kind of our roles, and it kind of worked, but we needed another role or two in there.
If you could spread that out, where
Yeah.
if someone was the
This
tank
is the
per
defender.
se,
This is the offensive
Yeah.
person. This is the
like, hey, I'm gonna
healer.
buff and
This
I'm
is-
gonna take this damage. Make sure you heal me up, and
Yeah.
just stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out all this way just to play this PvE game with me on stream, and all the other
We
stuff
were
you're
really
doing.
excited to show it off.
Yeah.
Our team did such a good job making it.
Yeah, a couple guys in the chat. I saw some play testers in there. I saw one of the devs, Jason Lasky, Deceptical. Shout out to him, Dev, and I saw Avalo, some of the other play testers,
Yeah.
and Merc people popping up. So
I mean, every single
Yes.
thing that you see on this was like battle tested. All the health was like games and games and games of like what's the balance, you know?
yeah, when we say indie studio and passion project, like these people are passionate and they're helping out and they're helping do these things, and we couldn't do it without them. And all people want to support that
Amazing.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't checked out Rise of Empire or Alpha Clash, definitely do. You posted the Going Fully Indie announcement this week. You posted the fun competitive stuff a couple months ago, and more to come. We had a lot of conversations yesterday for the podcast. I'm so excited for those episodes to
Yeah.
come up. Definitely check out these games and these experiences. These are some incredible people, very hardworking team. They talk nicely about the rest of their team, but these are 2 of the hardest working people I've ever met. So we're supporting it if this is of interest to you at all. And for everyone that's been watching and chatting the whole time, really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time.